I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The South Carolina Supreme Court overturns the murder convictions against Alec Murdoch and orders a new trial. Murdoch was found guilty in 2023 of killing his wife and son in 2021. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
A completely new trial. There will be, I think, a new judge, obviously completely different jury. And with respect to the evidence, I think that there has been intervening rulings regarding whether or not evidence of his financial crimes that he's also been convicted of could be brought in a murder trial. So my understanding is you might actually see less evidence in the next case.
Corey Richens will spend the rest of her life in prison for killing her husband Eric via fentanyl poisoning. The Utah mother later wrote a children's book on grief. Eric Richens' sister, Katie Richens Benson, asked the judge to lock up Corey forever.
I worry about the safety of Eric's boys, my daughters, my sister, and myself. There is nothing Corey will not do, and no one she will not hurt to achieve her own selfish ends.
A drug counselor tied to the ketamine overdose death of actor Matthew Perry will spend time behind bars. CBS's Stacey Lynn reports.
The licensed drug addiction counselor who delivered the doses of ketamine that killed the actor was sentenced to 2 years in prison. Prosecutors said Fleming worked with the so-called ketamine queen to give Perry the drug. She was sentenced last month to 15 years in prison. 56-year-old Eric Fleming told the court he was haunted by his actions and told reporters afterwards he's regretful sorry.
By chest and heart hurt every day for the pain I caused not only his family.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
President Trump announced plans to turn the U.S. military base in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, into a massive detention center that was supposed to hold as many as 30,000 people facing deportation. But as CBS's Camilo Montoya Galvez reports, a CBS News review of internal government documents shows there are only 6 immigration detainees being held there.
Over the past year, since the operation started in February of 2025, fewer than 900 immigration detainees have been transferred to the military installation at Guantanamo Bay to be detained there. Nowhere near that 30,000 number that President Trump talked about.
Americans are still under observation in medical facilities in connection with the cruise ship hantavirus outbreak, including 16 in Nebraska, where CBS's Ian Lee is.
The doctors here are very confident that they will be able to monitor this situation. Right now, they say it's up to the CDC to determine when these people can actually go home. That decision hasn't been made.
This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
Coming up, how Bluetooth helped Seattle police track down a stolen car driven by a teen. That's after Nate Connors at the Real-Time Traffic Desk.
Thanks, Aaron. This one brought to us by Seattle Sports. Well, we're starting to get busy across the region as we start off our 3 o'clock hour. Everett to Marysville, though, right around where you should be at 10 minutes. But it's solid from 526 to Highway 2. Brief clearing, then slow again from the Union Slough to Marysville. Eastbound 526 is still bumper to bumper from the Boeing plant over to I-5. Seattle to Everett plan on 50 minutes. Bellevue to Everett already 1 hour. It's slow from Kirkland all the way to Alderwood. In Monroe, eastbound 2, we're seeing a 3-mile solid backup heading into downtown. Here in Seattle, 35 minutes through downtown on North 5. Scattered backups from the north end of Boeing Field now to the Ship Canal Bridge. Bellevue to Renton on 405 plan on 20 minutes. Seattle to Federal Ways at a half hour. Southbound 167 bumper to bumper from State Route 18 into Sumner. And westbound 18, we're packed leaving the Valley Freeway all the way over to I-5 and Federal Way. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Seattle police say a 15-year-old suspected car thief might want to rethink his tech settings. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch explains.
SPD officers were called to a home near 44th Avenue South and South Willow Street just after 7:30 Tuesday night. They found a stolen sedan crashed through a fence into a yard. The driver was gone, but SPD Detective Eric Munoz says he was quickly taken into custody.
The teen was adamant that he didn't commit any wrongdoing. However, when the officers conducted a search incident to arrest, they recovered his cell phone still paired to the vehicle.
The boy was booked for property damage and possession of a stolen vehicle. James James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Police say a 66-year-old man was knocked to the ground while picnicking near the ferry terminal in Seattle on Saturday. The 30-year-old suspect walked away but was followed by a witness and later arrested. Witnesses say that man appeared erratic and aggressive. This comes just weeks after a separate assault left a 77-year-old man seriously injured, with 2 suspects now in custody.
They're each still held in the King County Jail as this case moves forward.
Casey McNerthney with the King County Prosecutor's Office. He says those 2 men have been charged in connection with that random attack near 3rd and Pike. Investigators now say there is nothing suspicious about a rooftop fire at Tacoma's historic Temple Theater. Thick smoke could be seen all over the city yesterday when that fire broke out. Chelsea Shepard is with Tacoma Fire.
Just knowing that they have done renovations up there on the roof to add that deck and that extra event space, odds are high that it's probably going to turn out to be an electrical issue.
No one was hurt. The damage is largely contained to the rooftop. And today, local leaders unveiled a sweeping transportation plan for next month's World Cup matches. The goal, 80% of fans arriving without a car. Here's King County Executive Gurmai Zahalai.
Our transit systems are busy but prepared to take on the demand. We are ready.
There will be free match day shuttles, and the construction along I-5 Ship Canal Bridge will be paused from June 8th through July 10th. Your weather update now after some morning rain, some afternoon sun breaks with some light showers still out there possible. Right now, 58 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Good afternoon, everybody. Greg Tomlin and Angela Poe Russell in on the John Curley Show. Happy Wednesday to you, Angela.
I must say I have never heard Wednesday quite like that.
It's one of the weirdest spelled days of the week. I mean, there's only 7 to choose from, but let's be honest.
Now you're starting something. So now I want to understand the origins. I want to know why. See,
the English language is full of complexities and mysteries that I don't think will ever fully be fleshed out. And that's just one of them, okay?
Wow.
It's good to be with you again.
It is good to hang out with you as well. My mom was looking forward to it. She's like, when are you doing radio again? I'm like, today. And then she said, oh, is it that guy? I'm like, yes, it's that guy.
Did your last time we filled in was right before Mother's Day.
Right.
Did she happen to hear your shout outs to her?
She did.
Love it.
You have a good memory.
Yeah, like an elephant. We'll get into weight loss issues later in terms of Ozempic. And hey, I'm actually on a GLP-1, okay? So I can speak firsthand to one of the stories in the news today.
I'll have questions later.
Yes,
then.
please
okay.
pepper them to me. But first, let's start here with Amazon and the fact that they're rolling this out in big cities across the country, and that is 30-minute delivery service. It goes live in Seattle here. So things like groceries, household essentials, and, quote, locally relevant items can be delivered. That's doing a lot of carrying the load there. Locally relevant. What do you think that means?
It's the staples. It's the butter, the milk, the egg, that thing you need at the last minute.
I was thinking more like Antifa related, like rocks, bricks, chains, and glass bottles. They'll sell those to the locally relevant.
Should we go pull this up on the phone? I guess Joe will research this.
Go ahead. Didn't mean to cut you off.
But I started getting the 30-minute option more than a month ago.
Okay.
And believe it or not, even though it's been available, I have yet to use it, because when you do use the 30-minute, it is just the essentials. So it's, in other words, they may not show you 4 different types of butter. This is the butter they have. So if you're a little picky like I am, then that may not be I'm like, 2 hours is fine. I can wait for 2 hours.
Here's where I come down on this. I am still hesitant to order things like fresh food to be delivered. I tend to stay away from the Uber Eats, the DoorDash. I've gotten into probably too often ordering the Costco home delivery, which I think is brilliant because the one that's by me is not very close to our residence, and it's just nice to not have to drive there, wait to find parking, which is always a nightmare, get through the lines, show my card, and then be lured into buying a bunch of other items I didn't really want to.
And then fighting people while you're there because they run you. Well, I feel like people run me over or attempt to.
It's head on a swivel depending on the day of the week and the time that you go to Costco. I'll agree with that. But but you often get charged more for that delivery. But again, it's the fresh food element that somehow still kind of creeps me out a little bit. I just feel like, and perhaps it's not warranted or justified to think this way, the potential for tampering, like if you're ordering blackberries or something like that, I just feel like it'd be so easy for a driver to just pop a few of those blackberries, get their dirty hands all over. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just something with non-perishable items. I stick to those.
Okay, so that sounds good. So a couple questions here. How do we feel about this in the context of our loneliness epidemic? And the whole idea of being able to go to the grocery store, interact with people, and interact with the clerk. I remember living in a neighborhood, and I knew the people who worked at the checkout line. And wait a minute, those are going away. So, because now we're getting all the self-checkout things. But I guess I'm just wondering about that piece of it, because I know let me start over. I know times are changing, and that we are living in this new paradigm. We get things delivered. We can get them like that, microwave mentality. But I just wonder about the fallout of that when it comes to our well-being as people.
I love that you went this direction with the story. And the reason I love it is because I was going to go there too. And the cool part about what we do in this business is we try to distill what is the essence of a story, what should be the main takeaway, not just for us, or what do we want to try to prompt people into thinking more about. And mine was the exact same thing. So I've been using delivery services as more of a last resort. If my schedule is just too crazy or it's hard to make a trip on a given day and I just need an item, I will utilize it. And in those unique cases, I think the trade-off is worth it. But I don't want to make a habit out of getting anything and everything delivered to my home in every instance. Ooh. Plus, it's like you said, it's just better to be out and about. It is. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's better for your mental health. It's better for relationships. It's better for your community. My wife knows our grocer, first name, last name, knows about their kids, knows their names, knows their family situation. They chat when she goes in there. She's gotten to know clerks and other workers there. I could do a better job at this, but she always tells me about the grocery store workers and how she gets to know them. It's not an overstatement to say that that's good for her soul, and it's good for their souls as well. Just embodied human experiences, putting names to faces. I'd urge people to be slow to accept and embrace technological innovations that make it easier for you to cave in on yourself. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay, so how about this? Because another perspective, I remember when I first moved to Seattle, I was by myself. My husband at the time, he was in med school, so I literally landed on a plane with 2 kids under the age of 3. And I needed Pampers and formula. I can't remember what I ran out of, but I found myself at the store at 11 o'clock at night with 2 kids under the age of 3. And I'm like, how am I going to navigate getting this infant and a toddler? It was just a hot mess. And I would have loved something like this. So I feel like some of the technological options we have today, whether it's AI, whether it's delivery, I think they're a great thing. But to your point, maybe we use them sparingly, maybe when we need it, when we're really in a pinch. But I love what you said about being careful not to just cave and make it. It's almost like that everything in moderation. That's where I'm landing on this issue. I think it's great they're doing it. I think for new mothers or people who are elderly and can't drive anymore, it's a great option. But I think we need to be leery about making that a daily thing that we do.
This could potentially be a theme of today's show, because a little later on, we're going to get into what's known as blue dot fever. And that is, it appears that on the horizon this summer, less and less people are going to be attending live concerts in person. And I really think, again, part of that is technological innovation. Part of that is people's pocketbooks, and they're being more wary of inflation, which is going up. That's another news story today. But the future, just around the corner, is more and more of these inventions or these technological advancements are just making it easier for all of us to sit on the couch.
Yeah. Quick question.
Literally.
Absolutely. And watch more movies that they keep churning out on.
Well, to have the algorithm. Have you seen the movie WALL-E? I mean, WALL-E is one of the most prescient movies in Disney Pixar history, but it takes a look into the future and kind of makes a prediction for what humans are going to be like if we keep charting the course that we are. And the movie kind of rubs a lot of people the wrong way because it's not like a glowing look at the human race.
What does it show us as?
You haven't seen it?
No, what does it show us as?
Highly recommend it. Have you seen it, Joe?
Are we sitting on the couch?
Yeah, we've ruined the climate to the point where we have to essentially leave Earth on a giant cruise ship.
We all live in space, on a cruise ship.
And humans their muscles have atrophied.
We're all fat.
So we all have a little kind of hovering wheelchair that we have to ride around in. But
we all have the personal assistants, like paying attention to our every beck and call.
That's right.
We drink all our food through this like perfectly designed straw for most efficiency and maximum effect and all this kind of stuff. And it's embellishing on purpose, but it gets you kind of thinking, yeah, actually. So do you remember when they sold things like social media on us initially? 5, 7, 8 years ago, maybe around 2012 was really starting to take off. It was all about how this is going to enhance your social relationships. This is going to bring you together. Like that is the main selling point. So now we have 10 years of data on this stuff, and we found it's had exactly the opposite effect. It's actually torn people apart. It's actually made us more divisive, more hyperbolic, more angry at each other, more suspicious, less trusting, and so on and so forth. So we were sold a bill of goods on that. I think those companies started with the best of intentions, and then it turned into we just got to maximize revenue and appease our shareholders, and we really actually don't care at all about relationships, and we're making way more money keeping people pissed off.
We're bringing the world together.
No.
Okay, can I just give you... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so could we apply that same notion to, hey, it's going to be great, 30-minute delivery. On its surface, it sounds like a beautiful, glorious thing. But can we fully flesh out what might be some of the potential downsides? And there clearly are going to be downsides respective person to person here. And we can't just take everything that comes our way as like, wow, it's making us more comfortable. It's more convenient. Some ways it sounds cheaper. It seems like a no-brainer. If something smells like a no-brainer to you, I almost want more red flags to be going off.
That's such a great point because we're going to make your life easier. We'll take all of that. I just want to give you one example when you talked about how the social media was going to bring us together and it actually tore us apart. I think about people I went to high school and middle school with, and it used to be a thing to plan the reunion and, I can't wait to see what so-and-so's doing. What do they look like now? And now that social media is it's even more popular, no one is motivated. No one is motivated to get together and have the reunion. I'm like, I know what you're doing. I know what you did last week. I know where you're. I mean,
I've seen you've already gained 30 pounds. I see it right now on my social media feed.
Am I the only one that sees this? I feel like there's less of a motivator. I know you have kids. I know there's not. I remember going to my 10-year reunion, and you're just so curious, like, what's life like? What are you up to? And there's just
less curiosity. Less desire to want to learn what's going on because you see it in a superficial sense constantly. And so you think you know it all when really you're just sort of getting a facade of what that person on the other end of the phone is actually living like and who they are as a person. You're just seeing their persona that they put out.
This texter may have ruined it for you. We cannot verify this, but this is from John in 573. While picking up packages as a part-time Amazon Flex driver, there's no way I'd order food from them. Some of those drivers' cars are so nasty. I've literally seen one of their cars swarming with roaches.
No.
I'm like, dude, we don't. Here, I didn't read the last part. But here's what I will say. Have you gotten in some Ubers that you were like...
Well, Uber tends to be like a last resort to me, too. Like, if I have to, I will, but I don't make a habit
There was
out of
one
it.
Uber car that I was hesitant to sit.
Oh, no.
Because it was like...
Are we talking crumbs on the seat and like vacuumed up
dust.
vomit?
It was like when it was, I don't know about vomit, but it was,
2 stars.
I was like, dude, a vacuum, a duster, whatever, But I order the food delivery, but I still hit the grocery store at least once or twice a week, so I use it in a pinch.
Okay, on a semi-related topic here, Washington State news today that our state here, outpaced only by California in the number of tech workers laid off last year. This from KUOW. More than 11,000 tech workers in our state lost their jobs between May 2025 and April of this year, according to research from the workforce intelligence company Revelio Labs. This is just the beginning of a massacre or a metaphorical bloodbath. Where most tech workers reside are in California, Washington, Texas, New York. This is only the beginning. I feel like we said this last Friday. But this dynamic, this trend is not going away. And I constantly come back to the motto of it's kind of adapt or die. It's the sad reality, but it's the truth. And that is AI, which is developing at an unbelievably rapid pace, is not going anywhere anytime soon. I still think we're starting to understand or unravel what types of workers in terms of the hierarchy are being affected by this at tech companies. Mm-hmm. Is it mostly people who are just out of college, who have their degree in computer science and so forth, but the ones who have been there the longest and are making the most money are more secure? But it's more like, hey, if this is your first couple of years in tech, we have no need for you. AI can churn that out in a day. It used to take you 3 weeks to do it.
Yeah, I don't. In my neighborhood, I've had 2 people I know impacted. These were people who've been in the workforce for a while. But what I find interesting about this, I mean, job transitions happen, right? In the past, they would go work for another tech company. In this case, what's most concerning is we are seeing a slowdown. Not only are the layoffs happening, but just the job postings aren't happening. Like this slowdown in hiring, like they were saying in this article, like Microsoft, 46% decline in openings and job openings in the past month. So where are these people going? And I guess what I'm curious about is when you have a high paying job like that, more than likely you've played your cards right. You have some savings, you have something to fall back on. But how long can you stay in that state of unemployment before the cracks start to appear? And that's the part I'm really worried about because I'm looking at how many people in Washington and tech have been laid off.
Yeah.
So much of our industry is supported by them.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I'm worried.
I feel like, the more and more I delve into the numbers, it's just sort of a bleak outlook for Washington State right now. Not only for the conditions with which to do business, but also with what's happening to AI. It's like a confluence of events that are all happening at the same time. And I think this region, you used this phrase last time we filled in together, maybe thou doth protest too much. But I think 10 years from now, it could be almost unrecognizable in terms of types of businesses that are operating here or to what level, to what the human workforce looks like, as opposed to just data centers. That's another story today about the pushback in Seattle to the proposal to build more data centers around here. It just feels like a very precarious time that we're in right now. A very consequential time, but so many unknowns that are unfolding. Joe, you look like you're chomping at the bit to get in a word.
I was just curious if you came across this live stream today that one of these AI robotics companies is doing. We have it on our stream right now. This is a live stream happening right now. This is a humanoid robot powered by AI that is doing an 8-hour shift in a package sorting or a mock package sorting facility. So it is going through and sorting all these packages to demonstrate its ability to essentially do what a human would do.
Yeah, go on to YouTube right now, search for KIRO Radio, check out the live stream right now, and you can look at the humanoid robot, which is sure to replace all of us in the next 10 years.
But what are the humans going to do? They're going to find other cool stuff to do. We're going to find other cool stuff to do.
Yeah, let's end on a note of optimism. But what do you mean by that?
Except I was being sarcastic.
Oh, I see. Dang it! I really thought there was a shred of hope.
Excuse me while I get the eyes out from the back of my head.
Okay, but can that humanoid robot replace electricians, plumbers, HVAC technicians,
today?
Elevator repair, aircraft mechanics, carpenters? Probably, actually.
Yeah, not today, but...
Not today.
10 years from now?
Yes. Greg Tomlin, Angela Poe, Russell in on the John Curley Show. Lots more coming up on a very busy news day. But first, let's send it on over to Nate Connors at the Real-Time Traffic Desk.
Thanks. You know what I noticed on that video is the mail was kind of stacking up behind the robot. I'm just saying. It was piling up.
Not employee of the month.
This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Up in Everett, eastbound 526. It is slow to thin out today. Still packed from the Boeing plant Over to I-5, Bellevue to Everett, down a bit to 55 minutes. You're still slow from Kirkland all the way into Alderwood, and then you're going to join that I-5 back up through Mill Creek. Seattle to Everett holding steady at 50 minutes. You're slow from Shoreline through Mill Creek. South 5 heading into Seattle, it's bumper to bumper at Ravenna Boulevard all the way to I-90. Plan on 25 minutes from Linwood into downtown. 35 minutes through downtown on North 5 with scattered backups before the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal. Both of our lake bridges look great. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, we're up to 45 minutes. The north end, you're looking pretty good. Just occasional slowing here and there between Renton and Kent, and then it's bumper to bumper right at State Route 18 into Sumner. Tacoma to Olympia at 40 minutes. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
The Washington Department of Transportation just spent millions of dollars fixing the interchange at I-90 and Highway 18, but the backups haven't gone away. You know what I think? I think they need new signs, but I'm not sure they do. I'll tell you about it Thursday morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO News Radio app.
When it comes to replacing a comfort system, homeowners want three things: quality they can trust, service that respects their time, and confidence that they're making the right long-term decision. That's where Home Comfort Alliance stands apart. As a Carrier Factory authorized dealer, they meet the highest standard for training, installation quality, and customer satisfaction. John Curley here. That's why you want Home Comfort Alliance. Home Comfort Alliance makes the process easy with the online price estimator. In just 60 seconds, you get a clear, honest quote without wasting time. Right now, when you upgrade to a Carrier cooling system, Home Comfort Alliance will give you a new heating system free. Plus, they'll handle all utility rebates and available discounts to get you the best possible value. For the world we share, choose Carrier and Home Comfort Alliance. For heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical, call the comfort people, Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today. That's homecomfortalliance.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener, like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV, but if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to it at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Wait! Before you change the station, listen to this.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KIRS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community. Not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington, call Davis Law Group today.
Hey, you know Earthwise Salvage in Soto? That really cool place with all the amazing doors, windows, and other treasure? Great news! They just opened a brand new location nearby. The Salvage Lumber Warehouse is ready to serve as a central resource for contractors, builders, home DIYers, and hobbyist woodworkers, providing access to clean, de-nailed lumber ready for reuse, flooring, beams, siding, mantles, live edge slabs, and so much more. All harvested from structures, not forests. Visit EWSalvage.com.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So, Greg, not all tax resolution companies are the same. There are some that are definitely not local. There are others that don't quite know what they're doing even.
Well, I tell you, these ads that all of us hear, Fresh Start program, they make you feel like, hey, man, I can just easy peasy get my taxes written off. No. And I've had several clients actually come to me after going through that process, and they just get no response after a while. They're passed around from person to person. That doesn't happen at my firm.
You are familiar with the cases that come in. You're working on them.
I'm familiar with every case that comes into our office, and I know what's going on and have the ability to really advise our taxpayers very well on what to do.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution, from stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. As President Trump holds trade talks in China, some high-profile CEOs are standing by his side. They include Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg, part of a delegation of U.S. executives who traveled with the president to Beijing. CBS's Aaron Navarro has more.
It speaks to the point that President Trump posted mid-air on this trip to Beijing, saying that one of the first requests he will make of Chinese President Xi Jinping is for China to open up for American business interests.
And Boeing has been seeking to revive sales in China after years of strained relations. A Mercer Island woman is suing Alaska Airlines, claiming the airline flew a Seattle to Phoenix flight into severe turbulence in 2024, despite repeated weather warnings. Court documents say the plane suddenly plunged about 200 feet, slamming passengers and flight attendants into the ceiling. Aviation attorney Mark Lindquist filed the suit.
Typically, you would expect pilots to divert the plane when they know severe turbulence and dangerous weather is ahead. Here, they flew right into the dangerous weather.
That lawsuit alleges negligence and seeks damages for physical injuries and emotional trauma. We are reaching out to Alaska for comments. Starbucks could be getting a $30 million boost to expand into Tennessee. Seattle Times reports the state is considering a grant to help Starbucks build that new corporate hub in Nashville. Starbucks has pledged to invest about $100 million in Tennessee and create up to 2,000 jobs over the next 5 years. The incentive still needs final approval. No comment yet from Starbucks. And Washington Supreme Court races are shaping up to be more competitive than usual. KIRO News Radio's Amanda Factor tells us why.
5 seats are on the ballot, most drawing multiple candidates. Former State Attorney General Rob McKenna tells Seattle's Morning News in recent years, very few people challenge sitting justices or governor's appointees.
I think you're going to see an unprecedented level of public attention and of campaign spending this year for Supreme Court races.
There is a lot at stake.
The income tax lawsuit will be heard by the Supreme Court next year by this newly seated court. So that's, I think, enhancing attention as well.
The primary election is August 4th. Amanda Factor, KIRO News Radio.
And we turn now to the real-time traffic desk. Check in with Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Bellevue to Everett is at 55 minutes. You're slow from Kirkland all the way to Alderwood. Seattle to Everett, just a little shorter at 50 minutes. You're backed up from Shoreline all the way through Mill Creek. Now, South 5 heading into Seattle. It is thick near Ravenna Boulevard in the U District all the way to I-90. About 25, 30 minutes from Linwood into downtown. It is 35 minutes through downtown on North 5. Your scattered backup start before the West Seattle Bridge. Seattle to Federal Way, we're closing in on 40 minutes. Your usual backup here starting at Interurban Avenue. Bellevue to South Center, 35 minutes. Again, typical backups here starting at 520 all the way to the Renton Landing. Got another backup down there through South Center. Tacoma to Olympia is at 40 minutes. You're slow pretty much to the length of South Tacoma. And then just a brief backup through JBLM. Feel the freedom of lower energy bills this Memorial Day. Get $525 off every window, $1,000 off every door, plus 12 months zero interest financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
The radar showing some rain over the mountains right now, along with parts of Snohomish and Skagit counties. Otherwise, cloudy skies with some sun breaks and highs today right around 60 degrees. Looking at 59 currently in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Greg Tomlin and Angela Poe Russell in on the John Curley Show. This hour brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. Greg, I brought this story up today to you because there were many things that struck me about it. First, let me give you the headline. Journalists from Politico have started a database to track immigration and enforcement cases in response to President Trump's immigration crackdown. Thus far, of the 11,000 cases that they've gone through, yes, they've gone through that many, in which courts reached a ruling, 10,000 of them went against the administration. They say most of the cases were related to his controversial policy of detaining people eligible for deportation without offering a hearing. There are several reasons why I think this is important. Number one, this is what journalism looks like. Actually having the space and the time and the fortitude to go through actual records and get that information. The other thing that I thought was really helpful is they made a point to identify of the judges, the federal judges who made these rulings, did any of the rulings appear politically motivated? So they looked at how many of these judges were appointed by Obama or Trump or Bush. And what they found was it was kind of like it didn't appear like there was a political motive. It was kind of consistent across the board, which is encouraging. The other piece that I thought was interesting is that they were able to use AI for part of this. And it made me think about how it can be a useful tool. We've talked about that. But specifically, they say they manually analyzed and categorized the records and then used AI to extract the case name, the judges, the dates, and the district from each opinion. And, you know, we talk about good uses of AI.
Yeah.
We talk about the research, and this is one of them.
I agree on a lot of those counts. I hope that the researchers here and the journalists are taking a Reagan-like approach to the utilization of AI with this data, and that is trust but verify. Because I will even tell you, I tried to deploy ChatGPT in my son's baseball league the other day, and we're always arguing about the rules, all the coaches, or is it an infield fly rule, or what happens when the second baseman doesn't get out of the runner's way, and, well, does he have to make an attempt, and who gets the final call? Is it the umpire? And just on and on and on.
And did AI lie to you?
So I plugged our league's rule book into AI, and I said, read over this document. In our league, what is the rule for the 10-run rule or the mercy rule? And it said clearly, unequivocally, it happens in this inning and it's this many runs. And I took that inside this debate that was happening during the game. And they're like, oh, well, ChatGPT says. And the other coach goes, no, I have the rule book right here and it says this. And I'm like, ChatGPT is hallucinating. Like on this little trivial thing during a kid's baseball game. So trust but verify. You cannot take what AI spits out to you as gospel. Maybe not ever. Maybe not now, maybe not ever.
Well, here's what I will say about Politico is that they were very transparent about their process. So
and I'm not undermining their process.
Oh, of course. But I think you're in general just saying, oh, watch out. And I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate that, to me, when you're being a responsible journalist, they did outline how we got the information, how we used it, and what they're going to do from going forward. So their plan is to keep adding to this database as cases come up. Yeah. And I just think that's phenomenal. And I love the transparency of telling me what your process was when you did it.
And this is an eye-popping number. I mean, again, out of 11,000 rulings, 10,000 went against Trump in these ICE cases. And I've been saying this from the beginning. A few months ago, when we started seeing all these videos of ICE raids and people being detained, I was the first to say, can we just hold off on making declarative statements and definitive judgments until we know more, right? I hate the forming opinions off 15-second video things. I thought we'd learned our lesson, having spent 10 years, with smartphones in our back pockets and social media going, yeah, probably not the best idea to form definitive opinions about things from a video. Okay, but what I've been calling for is let's see the data. Let's see the numbers. Let's try to get accurate numbers. So good on Politico for doing this here. And again, yeah, this is pretty eye-popping and pretty damning towards the Trump administration. I think fear is part of the feature, not a bug here. I think they're trying to create a future deterrent for any and all people who are thinking of coming to this country illegally for any reason, not just those who come here breaking the law and then look to commit more crimes. They've made it pretty clear now we're going after anybody who's either overstayed a visa or has, some kind of gray area where they've been living in the country for X amount of years. And that's found a lot of disagreement, not just on the left, who is already opposed to Trump, but for people like me who are more kind of center-right, who was all in favor of, yes, closing the border and going after the worst of the worst, but wasn't after going for the guy who has been raising a family here for 15 years and lives an otherwise law-abiding lifestyle and contributes to American society in a myriad of ways.
That is the frustrating part. I have a friend and they have some friends of theirs, a couple, and they've been together forever, living in New York forever, and they went for their, appointment, and next thing you know, the person's detained. And it's like, no legal justification. You're just eligible to be deported, no criminal record. And I guess I just wonder for people that were supportive of, and you know what? I'm the same way. The border got out of control. Like we had no boundaries. Like I agree with that. And at the same time, I just can't help but wonder if people who did support him feel like they've been duped.
Yeah,
because it was a lie. It was a lie.
Yeah, I think that's true. Joe, go ahead.
I was just which lie?
Which lie?
Well, saying you were going to go after the worst of the worst. Like that.
It's pretty clear that never happened.
No.
And at the same time, I mean, Trump is a product of however he's sort of feeling that day. I don't know if he's as calculating as we make him out to be. I read a great book by his former attorney general, I think Bill Barr is his name, called One Damn Thing After Another. And he talks about basically the last person that Trump speaks to. Look out for if Trump changes his opinion right away, because he is willing to be malleable or change on a whim based upon the last person he just spoke to. But you think he's a little more hardcore about this immigration topic.
Well, it's kind of, don't you think it's odd that when you look at Project 2025 and some of the policies have kind of been in alignment.
I don't even think he's read 2025. Like he likes all his briefings in pictures, like a picture book. Like,
so do you think he's like a Reagan and that that other people are running the country?
No, I don't think when Reagan was president, other people were. I don't like the comparison. I'm a big Ronald Reagan fan. I think there was far more substance to him than Trump and the way he ran the country personally. But I think Trump is far more simple than we make him out to be, and far less plotting and calculating and devious and mastermind-like. I think he's far more, I go on an emotion and on a whim, and if this is how I'm feeling, I will deliver my stream of consciousness 24/7. If you want to hear what that sounds like, tune in starting at 6 a.m. in the morning until 3 a.m. in the middle of the night.
I don't know. All right. Well, to be continued on that debate, but it is an interesting perspective and one I had not heard before. All right. Thank you, Greg. Let's get over to Nate in the traffic center.
All right, thanks, Angela. Everett to Marysville, up to 15, 20-minute commute. It's solid now from 526 all the way to 528 heading into Marysville. Everett to Seattle coming the other way, 45 minutes. Everett to Bellevue, just 35. Once you get into Bellevue, 405 is slow from 520 all the way down to North 30th there in Renton. Real thick between Southeast 8th past Cold Creek Parkway. Bellevue to Renton, we're closing in on a half-hour commute. North 405 in the south end, we're slow from South Center through the Renton S-curves. Renton to Puyallup, up on the Valley Freeway. Plan on 45 minutes. Gets real thick at State Route 18 into Puyallup. As you make your way into Tacoma, between Federal Way and Tacoma, it's slow from South 320th all the way across the Puyallup River Bridge. And then both directions of I-5 were slow this afternoon through South Tacoma. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
The G and Ursula Show.
Prices in the Seattle area jumped nearly 5% in April.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
Well above the national inflation rate of 3.8%. So, in other words, we're paying more than much of the rest of America is right now.
It feels like a treadmill that continues to get faster and faster and faster. But somebody keeps speeding it up and increasing the incline.
G and Ursula. Watch live or later on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
You know how some parts of the house don't work? Let me explain. There's that closet that you've got that when you open it up, everything falls out. Or you try to find something, you can't because it's not working. There's too much stuff in there. And how about the garage? I know some people that can't park their car in the garage because there's everything else parked in the garage. You see what I'm saying? There might be some other parts of the house where it's just packed and there's no place to store anything. So maybe you've even gone to renting one of those storage units. Well, that adds up every single month. You can't even remember what's in there. So a better investment to get parts of those house working would be Closets by Design. The consultant comes to your house. They look at the problem. They know that each one of these problems that need to be solved have to be customized. But you don't get a big customized price. You're going to get 40% off plus an additional 15% off in 18 months. 0% financing on approved credit when paid in full. I really became a believer in Closets by Design when they came out to the barn in Cle Elum. You should see the work that they did. My goodness. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's closetsbydesign.com.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
With summer right around the corner, Valentine Roofing's schedule is filling up fast. Jake Skorheim here. I want to give you 3 reasons why you should pick up the phone and call Valentine today. Number 1, there's still time to beat the summer rush and get your roof started in as little as 3 weeks. Number 2, when the nice weather hits, you'll be enjoying your backyard instead of worrying about your roof. And 3, with the increased cost of crude oil, material prices going up, shipping prices going up, lock in your price now before the market absorbs all those price increases. Call 206 Roofing today, and I guarantee there'll be no surprises, just a clear estimate you can trust. And once you choose Valentine Roofing, here's what you can expect. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. That's the Valentine experience and the reason that they were awarded the 2025 Gold for Best Roofing Company by the Seattle Times Best in the Pacific Northwest Awards. Call 206 Roofing today. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Jazz Alley invites you to see bass legend Stanley Clarke live on stage. Shows run May 14th through the 17th. Tickets at jazzalley.com. Next up, Seattle's own Jovino Santos Neto, May 19th and 20th.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
Hello and welcome back to the John Curley Show. He's off today, but I'm Angela Poe Russell filling in along with Greg Tomlin. There's a new trend, and I want to know if it's something you would do, or maybe you've done it, and you'll share it with us and can text and let us know about it. It is called the shirt exchange, specifically the embarrassing shirt exchange. And so let's say you're traveling with your family or a group, you agree to a shirt exchange, you record it, and the shirt is embarrassing. So how embarrassing is it? I saw one in this article where a man had to wear a shirt that said, "I'd be farting," and he had to wear it on the plane. It was bright yellow. He had to wear it on the plane and to the hotel. And then there was another one. I mean, you can just imagine. It runs the gamut of the kinds of embarrassing, and it's a whole thing.
And so you have to switch an article of clothing with someone in your family?
Or it could be anyone. It could be you and your friends going on a trip, or you and your kids going on a trip, and we're going to exchange ugly T-shirts.
So like I could buy an embarrassing T-shirt and make you wear it.
Yeah, you exchange it. Everyone agrees they have to wear whatever shirt that you purchase for them.
And is the purpose of this meant to enliven and energize and make something like as boring as showing up to the airport, getting on a flight?
They say it brings joy. Like other people see them in the shirt.
Enrich the experience?
They say other people see them in the shirts. It makes them smile. It makes them...
Me personally, I'd be mortified by this challenge because I just don't like generating undue attention towards myself in any form.
Then this sounds great.
I want to
yes, this should happen for you.
Even when I'm on stage playing guitar and singing, I want to draw the right kind of attention, but like some forms of attention, I don't want people looking at me like through the airport. I want to be as anonymous as possible. I'll bring like the fake glasses and a low brim hat so I don't have to like make eye contact with people at the airport.
This would be therapeutic for you.
Joe, would you
It might be, actually.
Would you do an ugly shirt exchange?
I wouldn't be excited about it, but I would do it if everybody else was into it for one reason or another.
Yeah, the thing is, if it were just me, like let's say I lost a bet and I had to be the one, because that does happen, then I think I would hate it, right? But if everyone has an embarrassing one on, it's different.
Here's the deal about the airport. I recently watched I guess you'd call it a stand-up special by someone named Julio Torres. It was on HBO. It's called Color Theories by Julio Torres. Pretty thought-provoking and interesting. He's a little out there. I'd say it's like the mix between a philosopher and Pee Wee Herman at the same time. You put them together, and it's a modern take. It's very fascinating. But his whole deal is ascribing colors to certain attributes. And so he calls the color navy blue the color of law and order and bureaucracy. And he notes that a place that is navy blue is the airport. And the airport basically screams out, whatever your deal is, not here. And that got the biggest laugh from me during the stand-up special. But airport is one of those places where you want to diminish the I'm a unique unicorn, look at me, let's have a spectacle, and more of a, hey, we're all here. It's a mundane thing. Like, let's just go about our business, get on the flight. We don't want to interject heightened personalities into this situation. We are running on time.
It's changing.
We are being quiet. We are checking our bags. We are shutting up.
It's changing because now there's the whole dance challenge at the airport. So that's the new thing is they do these dance routines in the airport. I just love these videos. I think his name is Blake McGrath, and he does these beautiful dances as people are in the airport walking by, and I think it brings beauty and joy. And
that means more people are going to be getting out their smartphones, filming the dance. And while I'm there at 5 a.m. with my 3 kids and my wife because we got $20 off per ticket and I don't want to be there and my eyes are barely open, I'm going to end up in some viral video of some guy dancing and me looking miserable. That's the attention I don't want, Angela.
I think, Greg, you have an unhealthy relationship with the airport.
Let's explore this a little more.
Yeah, while you do that, we'll talk to Nate to see what's going on with traffic. Hey there.
Yeah, hi. We've got wet roads across the region today, so be sure to slow that roll, especially if you're going around turns. I think we may have a culprit here in Tacoma. A car slid off the on-ramp from 705 to northbound I-5, so it's blocking your left lane, so that leaves one lane open. Not saying the driver was going too fast for conditions, but there's a chance. Tacoma to Olympia, 45 minutes. Most of your slowing is actually through South Tacoma. Seattle to Federal Way is 40 minutes. Got a pretty heavy backup now from the Duwamish curve all the way down to 516. North 405, you're slow from South Center up in through the Renton S curves. 25-minute trip from South Center to Bellevue. And if you're heading through Seattle, northbound I-5, it's 35 minutes to get through downtown on northbound I-5. You're solid approaching the West Seattle Bridge all the way across the Ship Canal Bridge. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
The Washington Department of Transportation just spent millions of dollars fixing the interchange at I-90 and Highway 18, but the backups haven't gone away. You know what I think? I think they need new signs, but I'm not sure they do. I'll tell you about it Thursday morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Hey, it's John Curley. If you're having joint pain, this will interest you. Tonight at 6, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
What joints have you seen really good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, one of the most experienced in the country with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go pain-free in 2026. Join his free live stem cell webinar tonight at 6. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
The Camping World Ultimate RV Show is coming to Angel of the Winds RV Resort in Seattle. Parking and admission are free. Join us May 14th to the 17th to shop special show pricing on over 200 fully staged new and used RVs. Get an exclusive first look at new models. Check out the latest gear and accessories. Bring the family to enjoy our kids zone and enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Ultimate RV Show in Seattle, May 14th to the 17th. We'll see you there.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. Northwest News.
It's Staples' 40th anniversary, and they've got deals worth celebrating. Now through May 23rd, enjoy up to 50% off. Save on paper, chairs, custom print, balloons, and more. Staples. That was easy.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. It's Thursday in China, and President Trump is starting his schedule toward the summit with China's leader Xi Jinping. CBS's Anna Corin is in Beijing with more on the schedule, issues, and expectations.
If we're talking about the core of core interests for China and for Xi Jinping, that is Taiwan. It has been that way now for decades. But we've heard from Xi recently. He speaks about the reunification of the motherland. You know, the Chinese claim Taiwan as their own territory. So this is certainly in play, and that would involve the U.S. stopping arms sales, changing its posture, and reducing its support for the island democracy.
The U.S. military says the remains of the second Army soldier who went missing during military exercises in Morocco have been recovered. 19-year-old specialist Mariah Simone Collington of Tavares, Florida, is the second U.S. soldier who fell off a cliff during a recreational hike in Morocco. The remains of another soldier, First Lieutenant Kendrick Lamont Key Jr., were recovered last week. The South Carolina Supreme Court overturns the murder convictions against Alec Murdoch and orders a new trial. Murdoch was found guilty in 2023 of killing his wife and son. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
Murdoch had argued that he needed a new trial because of jury tampering, and specifically because of things that the court clerk said to the jury. Things like, I don't think the defense has much of a case here. Things like, just look at his body language. Apparently, she also said something to the jury along the lines of, well, this verdict shouldn't take you long.
Corey Richens, the Utah woman found guilty of murdering her husband with a fentanyl-laced cocktail and later wrote a children's book about grief, has been sentenced.
Ms. Richens, based on your conviction on count 1, first-degree felony aggravated murder, the court hereby sentences you to life without parole.
Richens has also been sentenced on 2 insurance fraud counts for forgery and 5 years to life on the attempted murder charge. They would be served consecutively. Utah District Court Judge Richard Mrazek says someone convicted of Richens' crimes is simply too dangerous to ever be free. Eric Richens would have celebrated his 44th birthday today. 2 Americans are still under observation in a medical facility in Atlanta in connection with the cruise ship hantavirus outbreak. 16 people are in a Nebraska facility where CBS's Ian Lee reports.
Health officials here in Omaha say the CDC will ultimately determine whether the passengers must remain at this facility or if they can complete the 42 days of isolation at home.
This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Coming up, a day in courts for the man accused of assaulting a teenage girl in Seattle. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
It's getting pretty busy out there, Aaron. This report brought to us by Global Credit Union. In fact, we've had a number of reports of trees down this afternoon, including one in Belltown right now. Add that to wet roads and standing water, and you've definitely got to pay attention to your drive. Avoid distractions, like cell phones. 35 minutes through downtown on North 5. You got a solid backup approaching the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal Bridge. South 5, it's a bumper-to-bumper from Ravenna to I-90. Linwood to Seattle, we're up to a half hour. Seattle to Everett, plan on 50 minutes. It's slow from Shoreline through Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett at 1 hour, and it's solid from Kirkland all the way to the Alderwood interchange. And then you'll join the I-5 backup through South Tacoma. Both directions of I-5 this afternoon are slow between 512 and State Route 16. Just volume here. Tacoma to Olympia, 50 minutes. Olympia to Tacoma is a 40-minute commute. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. The man accused of kidnapping and then raping a 15-year-old girl near a Northgate bus stop faced a judge today. Our news partners at KIRO 7 TV were in that courtroom when a victim advocate read a statement on behalf of the girl's family.
This individual has completely turned our family's everyday life into a living hell.
35-year-old Joshua Kolcheski pleaded not guilty today. His bail is set at $1 million. Both men charged in a random attack on a 77-year-old man near 3rd and Pike in Seattle last month have now pleaded not guilty. They're accused of leaving that man with broken bones and a deep cut on his face. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports on yet another random attack in downtown.
Near the ferry terminal on Alaskan Way, enjoying the Saturday sun with family, police say a 66-year-old man was thrown to the ground. The suspect, 30-year-old Nicholas Evans, then walked away. A witness called 911 and followed Evans for several blocks where he was arrested. Another witness tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 the suspect looked drugged and deranged and was performing martial arts moves toward other people. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Tacoma is now banning federal agencies, including ICE, from using city-owned property for civil immigration enforcement. City Council unanimously approved that ordinance. Councilmember Sandesh Sidalge.
And I would like to see more of our neighbors, especially the county, even the state, to consider and pass similar ordinances, because this is something that's within each of our control.
The city of Seattle and King County both have similar policies in place. Last time the Seahawks took the field, you know what happened.
The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60. They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
And the team they beat will be in the Northwest when the Hawks unveil their championship banner. Multiple reports now say it'll be a Super Bowl rematch week 1, with Seattle hosting the New England Patriots. The game at Lumen Field is set for September 9th. Your weather update now, looking at some showers, mainly to the north in places like Skagit County, some parts of Snohomish County, also the mountains getting some rain at this moment. Otherwise, some clouds and sun breaks, and 59 degrees currently in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Greg Tomlin and Angela Poe Russell in on the John Curley Show on KIRO Radio. Thanks so much for joining us. Boy, I've been feeling the pinch at the pump for years here in the Seattle area, but we've entered uncharted territory. The first time I saw gas per gallon at over $6, I had to take a moment, take a breath, and then load up my car with that beautiful refined oil and almost shed a tear when I saw the ending price, the total.
What was
it's
it?
insane. Well, my wife's car is a gas guzzler. Mm-hmm. Nice thinking on our part. I think it holds about 20 gallons.
Oh my God. So was that 100 something?
I think it was $123 bucks. And she drives a lot. And it's been really difficult, Angela. I don't know, have you felt this as a consumer in a number of ways? The more people I talk to, friends that I'm catching up with, a lot of the conversation comes back to why is just everything and anything so expensive right now?
No, we've changed our habits. We have actually absolutely been mindful of it. Now that I think about it, I feel like I should have taken a picture the first day I saw the $6.
That's not something you want to savor and remember.
20 years from now, we'll be telling our kids during that time, it was, because I still remember going to college and seeing gasoline 99 cents a gallon.
Those
99
were the
cents.
days.
I sound like that person, don't I, Joe? It's like back in my day.
I mean, 99
It
cents.
happens to the best of us, Angela.
Back in my day. But yeah, it's and what who I think about in these moments, I think about people who do not have the flexibility. I mean, there are a lot of families that, okay, we don't like paying it, but we can pay it. And then there are folks who are like, they don't have it. And so for them to pay for gas, it comes from something else that they really need, like a bill or groceries or something like that. But the thing is, we're not even getting a break from the groceries. Groceries are up.
U.S. annual consumer inflation posts largest gain in 3 years as prices increase broadly. This story up at Reuters and pretty much everywhere that gives news to the nation today. Producer prices shot up 6%. Which is a mind-boggling number. Core drivers of inflation, energy prices were the largest contributor. Gasoline prices jumped sharply. And here in Washington State, I think it's 55-cent state tax, and then the CCA contributes another 50 cents to gas prices per gallon. And so my wife, when she fills up her tank, every single time, $20 is immediately going to the state of Washington, which is wild. That's once a week. So for my wife's car, $80 a month, she's just given right back to the state of Washington for a number of reasons. But one of the big contributors here has to be the issue that's going on with the war in Iran and the Strait of Hormuz, where the world, I think 20% of the world's oil comes out of the Strait of Hormuz, 20 million barrels a day. That has diminished largely, and it's really hard to get a straight answer on what is going on right now as we speak in terms of Strait of Hormuz. Is there a blockade? Isn't there a blockade? Is there a ceasefire? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Whose word do we take for it? Is Trump telling the truth? Are the Iranians willing to compromise? Hard to get a straight answer anywhere, but I just know far less oil is coming out of the Strait of Hormuz right now.
Well, one thing that's really clear is how President Trump feels about where we are. I think you have some audio of that, or Joe, you have the audio?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
Is this a gaggle?
Negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all. That's the only thing.
What was your reaction to that?
My reaction was, can we turn off the damn helicopter or the airplane? Those sound bites bother me so much, and I'd like to hear every word that the president is saying here because it's quite striking.
Yeah.
Some might even say alarming, and for those that couldn't hear over the propellers or engines, the reporter basically asked Joe, how much does the American economy factor into your decision-making in terms of the war with Iran? And he said, not at all. And he began to expand on that thought and kind of said, the American consumer doesn't factor into my choice.
And he said, what I want to highlight, not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. And here's the deal. On one hand, I see where he's trying to go with this. He's trying to say that what I think he's trying to say is when it comes to safety, I have to focus on our safety first. I can't think about the other things. But to say that you don't, when how much of a threat Iran posed is technically still being debated, even U.S. officials saying we don't know for sure how close they were to having a nuclear weapon, saying that you're not concerned about our finances even a little bit. If I were his comms person, I'd be a little concerned.
Well, and
Joe, what say you?
Well, it's not just gas prices, and I think that's the easiest thing because
Absolutely.
people drive by 1, 2, 10 gas stations excuse me, every day when they're going to work or coming home from work. So they see that number all the time.
And you see the fluctuation, and
you see
it's
how
hard
it
not to
fluctuates.
notice. Yeah.
But this boils down to the price of a barrel of oil, which is gas, which is, it goes into like every piece of plastic that's manufactured has petrochemicals that come from that barrel of oil.
Glorious petrochemicals coursing through my veins.
Fertilizers, almost literally anything that's manufactured, nearly anything is dependent on that price. So that's why everything is so expensive now. And then, of course, the cost of transporting everything, that all boils down to the cost of fuel too. But yeah, so it's literally almost everything that you spend money on is affected by the price of oil.
Well, and it harkens back to the Ragin' Cajun, James Carville's line about it's the economy, stupid, when it comes to voters' sentiment. And I think that's one of the reasons this quote is gaining so much traction today nationally, because is this a quote that Democrats will use against the president in the upcoming midterms? And do Americans care? And how much do they associate inflation and the pinch at the pump, the price at the pump, directly correlative to Trump's policies right
I don't
now?
know that Democrats are going to be able to use that.
You don't know?
I don't think so. I think because I feel like his people can easily defend it and say that when it comes, if you were to tell someone, okay, which thing do you want me to prioritize, your safety or your wallet? People would say, okay, prioritize my safety. And so, I mean, we can kind of, analyze his words or whatever, but I think at the heart of it, he's trying to say he has a singular focus. What they can pinpoint is how much of a threat was Iran in that moment that we needed to do that we didn't need to go through Congress, that we didn't need to have like a coalition of other people who agreed. And to me, that might be better ammunition.
No, well said, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah,
yes.
my bad.
I think you're exactly spot on. And my big question is, he keeps repeating this line of the most important thing is, as commander-in-chief, I need to keep our people safe. Granted, I actually agree with that.
Totally.
But the bigger question is then this word imminent and phrase imminent threat. And do most Americans think we were in a situation where Iran was a week away or a month away from maintaining, or deploying a nuclear weapon against the United States? I think for millions and millions of voters, Iran was sort of out of sight, out of mind for the most part. And this attack and this ongoing war took most Americans by surprise. Now, if you talk to people in the military, they might have a different perspective on it. It's still fresh on their mind. Was the Marine bombing in 1983, I believe it was, of Iran, the hostage crisis in Beirut. Thank you. Yes. And so there is a narrative by those writers and commentators like Brett Stevens, or more kind of Iran hawks that say, hey, Iran's been at war with us for 40 years and now we're finally finishing this thing. I just don't, that's a hard sell, I think, for a lot of Americans. And when you go, hey, look, in my everyday life, I'm trying to get to work. I'm trying to take care of my family, raise my kids, and provide somewhat of a comfortable life here. And when I'm paying more through the nose for everything, it's hard for me to go, well, I'm really glad Iran doesn't have a nuke, because you didn't really feel that threat personally before. I'm not making a judgment. I'm just saying that's my gauge on the sentiment of a lot of American voters.
So a question from the text line. Would you rather wait until they absolutely, positively have a nuclear weapon and hold the entire world hostage? They already have ballistic missiles that could hit Europe, only a matter of time before they had to hit our East Coast. How long do you wait?
It all depends on how close they were to getting one. And then
they
I read
were nowhere near. Every intelligence agency that works for this country said they were absolutely nowhere near.
This was U.S. intelligence.
Here's the wild part, because fresh on our minds, we all remember the Iraq War. And that had far more like congressional support, and they went through kind of appropriate channels before that invasion. There was still a lot of disagreement about it before, during, and after, still to this day. But George W. Bush did far more legwork in getting American buy-in to what he was doing at the time, if you remember. Trump, I just don't believe that the goals have ever been firmly established. We really don't know what the end game is here. And I read this report.
He said the end game is to make sure they don't have a nuclear weapon. Is that not in game enough?
New York Times today, U.S. intelligence shows Iran retains substantial missile capabilities. So if the goal
I
was
see what you mean.
Weakening this regime, if anything, we've exposed an ace in the hole that they have, which is the Strait of Hormuz, which was open before the war. And now we realized, wait, we don't have a lot of leverage here in terms of what they're doing with the Strait. And so in some ways, there is a very big potential for Iran to come out on the other side of this stronger and realizing, wait, we had a few weapons, quote unquote, we didn't even know about until we faced an existential threat, this regime. And when you back a rat into a corner, they'll gnaw your face off in order to get out. So they're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at America in terms of how to get us out of the country. And I just feel like we've almost, in some regards, opened up a bigger can of worms than there was before.
Box.
Potentially. I mean, I don't know if what Trump thought was this was just going to be a cakewalk like Venezuela.
That's what they said. Remember, they came. I want you to continue, but he did come out and say this was going to be quick. I wish we could pull up the quote.
2 weeks.
Right, but go ahead, finish. I want you to finish.
And now it's this excursion or expedition. He's even said military operation. God help us if he adds the word special before that, because that's how Putin described his war in Ukraine, was a special military operation. And I don't like the sound of it. I don't like the look of it. And I sit here with a lot of consternation about how this continues to play out in the coming weeks. And they're talking about giving taxpayers a break at the pump that might last until December, which is sort of the administration tipping over their hand saying, we don't see any end in sight in terms of soaring inflation.
And that's like a 35, that's the federal gas tax.
It's a federal gas
35
tax,
cents,
exactly.
Which affects, you get 35 cents off the cost of gas. But that, if the war continues, the cost of oil is going to continue to go up. And like I said, that affects so many other things besides gas.
He had one job. He had one job. That's all people wanted when they elected him. They were like, economy. That was the number. Am I wrong? That was the number one issue. Can you help the economy?
And no foreign wars he ran on, too.
No forever wars.
Yeah, no
forever wars. That's exactly right.
I do want to share this because you touched on something, Greg, when you said you wonder if this has kind of opened up. I think I put there was a phrase you used, and I think I said Pandora's box.
Can of worms, Pandora's
box.
box.
Yes, that's what I meant. And there was this article in The Guardian where the guy said Iran didn't have a nuclear weapon before this war, but you can see why it would develop one now. and it makes the point about peace, like when they do have these talks and then violations of what they agreed to, the lack of trust. Like if there were, I wouldn't say we were all like kumbaya before, but in terms of the level of trust and the amped up, the elevation of it, or escalation of it, I should say. So I love the quote here. He said, the nukes are the only sure way of deterring future onslaughts from their perspectives. And he just said in the middle of diplomatic negotiations, they've struck, even in peace deal. So it's just, I also have concerns about the repercussions of this down the road, and I'm not sure what we are getting in exchange for this potential risk.
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
That's it.
Do we think that Republican resistance to the Iran war is going to grow? There is a story in the Seattle Times today. Those like Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Rand Paul, who's kind of been against this war from the beginning. There is that label of a lame duck presidency starting to encroach on Trump. Looking at 2 years straight in the face. I don't even know if the ballroom's going to be done before his term is over. And so do you think some in his party will become more emboldened to have fresh, original, and maybe even contrary ideas to the commander-in-chief because they don't feel like they need to have him in their corner going forward because he can't run in another election?
Sorry, I just stopped at ballroom and my brain just...
Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
Past the ballroom.
I'm actually not against the ballroom, okay? I'm not against the ballroom.
I'm
Is
not
that a
against the
controversial
ballroom.
opinion?
It just feels like... It feels like
Joe, you've been hanging out too much in the dark web.
That's a fact.
It feels like a let them eat cake moment when we're in in a tough economy for a lot of people, and it's like, and we're going to build a ballroom. In times like these, we say, you know what, we'll wait on that kitchen remodel, But at the same time, everybody ain't suffering. If you look at Wall Street, things are good. And
it's almost inexplicable.
On our backs. On our backs.
I check the stock market every day, and I just see this parabolic line that has gone straight up for like the past month. And I truly don't understand it. Like, lots of people are clearly getting rich here, but what is it? I think the numbers I read last week were 10% of the people own 93% of the stocks or something like that. So 401ks are part of that. But
and to answer your question about Republicans being against the war, so the Senate has 3 times voted to restrict Trump's war powers, essentially. And 3 times it has not passed.
It's like 50 to 49.
It's like 50 to 49. But today they did it again. And every time they do it, more Republicans vote to pass this bill. And today 3 more went to that side.
So Murkowski ran. Wait, no. Rand Paul.
Rand Paul. Yeah,
Rand Paul and
well, Fetterman went for Trump.
Fetterman was. I think he had
Susan Collins. That was the other one.
Collins, that's right.
Those are the Republicans that.
But you don't have any patience for Murkowski. We got into that in the pre-show meeting. I'm sad we didn't get enough time for it here before the break, but something to explore in another segment. Greg Tomlin, Angela Poe Russell in on the John Curley Show. How are the gas guzzlers doing out on the roads? Nate Dogg at the real-time traffic desk.
They are moving real slow today.
At $6 a gallon.
That's right. KIRO Newsradio App has our update. Tacoma to Olympia, we're up to 50 minutes. You're slow through the length of South Tacoma, about a 3-mile backup through JBLM, and then it's all clear all the way through and past Olympia. North 5, you're slow from Gravely Lake Drive to the Tacoma Mall. Olympia to Tacoma is at 40 minutes. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, plan on 40 minutes. Really heavy volume south of State Route 18. Seattle to Federal Way is at 35 minutes. You're starting to slow to MLK Junior Way all the way past 516. Here in Seattle, North 5, we've got backups before the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal. 40 minutes to get through downtown. Seattle to Everett at 50 minutes. Bellevue to Everett is an hour. And Everett to Marysville just under 20 minutes. It's packed from 526 all the way to 528. Text app APP to 888-973-5476 and download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
The Washington Department of Transportation just spent millions of dollars fixing the interchange at I-90 and Highway 18, but the backups haven't gone away. You know what I think? I think they need new signs, but I'm not sure they do. I'll tell you about it Thursday morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO News Radio app.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter-churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home and auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on oil?
We've got many markdowns on oil.
How about on that new STP Any Mileage?
You'll save $5 when you buy 5 quarts of STP Any Mileage with an oil filter and get up to 5,000 miles of protection.
Heck of a markdown for quite a lot of miles.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Hey, John, why don't you tell everybody why you started going to Longevity Medical Clinic?
No, I don't want to do that. I can tell you, I started going to Longevity Medical Clinic before I started doing these commercials, but that why I went is not important.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay. I'll tell you. I was a Sammamish City Council member, and whenever they had asked me to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I couldn't make it through the whole thing without crying. I know, it's so dumb. I mean, I know I'm patriotic, but what the heck? So I go into Longevity Medical Clinic, and I explained this to them, that there's something wrong with my hormones or something, and they see the testosterone and the estrogen are all out of balance. We balance all that stuff, and I can do the Pledge of Allegiance without crying. But I've also noticed that I deal with stress a lot better, don't I?
Yes, you're a lot easier to live with because you're getting more sleep, you have more energy, you're better organized, and I'm not helping you look for your car keys every morning.
Right, because now I've taken the steps to take care of my mind and body. I strongly recommend anybody get the free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we know the key to a long-lasting roof is yearly maintenance. Need an inspection, repair, restoration, moss removal, or just a cleanup? You can trust Guardian's licensed, insured, and expertly trained team. We offer free estimates, second opinions, and financing, giving you the peace of mind your home deserves. Call today. Our first-time customers can save $99 on our award-winning roof repair and cleaning service. Visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Hey, you know Earthwise Salvage in Soto? That really cool place with all the amazing doors, windows, and other treasure? Great news! They just opened a brand new location nearby. The Salvage Lumber Warehouse is ready to serve as a central resource for contractors, builders, home DIYers, and hobbyist woodworkers, providing access to cleaned, de-nailed lumber ready for reuse, flooring, beams, siding, mantles, live edge slabs, and so much more. All harvested from structures, not forests. Visit ewsalvage.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. A memorial is growing tonight for a UW student who was stabbed to death at an off-campus apartment building. The killer still on the run nearly 3 days later. KIRO 7 TV talked to a student who lives at the Nordheim Court Apartments, where the 19-year-old victim was killed in a laundry room Sunday night.
And apparently you can get into the laundry room from the garage because there's been a door that's been left open. The keypad doesn't exactly work for it all the time. It's been left open a lot. That's how we somewhat think he got in there.
And that student says the suspect sounds like a man who broke into one of his neighbor's units just a few weeks ago. President Trump is in China for a meeting with President Xi Jinping. Trade among the top issue with the push for China to open up to more U.S. business. CBS's Natalie Brand reports some big-name CEOs have tagged along.
17 CEOs from top American companies, including Boeing, Apple, and NVIDIA, are in China with the president, signaling a focus on deals. But with other huge issues looming from Taiwan to Iran, experts say don't expect big breakthroughs.
And for Boeing, the company is eyeing a potential multi-billion-dollar jet order with China. A 48-year-old woman who survived a terrifying Alaska Airlines flight is suing the Seattle-based carrier. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
The lawsuit filed by aviation attorney Mark Lindquist claims an Alaska flight crew knowingly flew Flight 700 from Seattle to Phoenix into severe turbulence in December 2024. The plane allegedly dropped about 200 feet, slamming passengers and flight attendants into the cabin ceiling, leaving several injured.
Alaska airline pilots received repeated warnings
of severe turbulence and dangerous weather. They flew into it anyway.
Lindquist says the lawsuit seeks damages for physical injuries, medical bills, and emotional trauma. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Tennessee may hand Starbucks a $30 million grant to open a corporate hub in downtown Nashville. Seattle Times reports the state funding board votes on that deal May 20th. No comment yet from Starbucks, but the company has said it is investing $100 million into the region and bringing 2,000 jobs to Nashville over the next 5 years. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 4:33. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Home Comfort Alliance has the update. North 5 through Seattle. Give yourself about 40 minutes to get through these backups on West Seattle Bridge all the way to the Ship Canal Bridge. South 5, you're jammed up at Ravenna Boulevard to I-90. Linwood to Seattle have improved a few minutes from our last chat, down to 25 minutes. Seattle to Everett, 50 minutes. Bellevue to Everett, a solid hour with a solid backup from Kirkland all the way up to that Alderwood interchange. Crossing the lake from Bellevue into Seattle, plan on 25 minutes on both 520 and I-90. Bellevue to South Center is at 35 minutes, and North 405 through Renton, just past the Maple Valley Highway. We have a new crash right there in the center lane, the left general purpose lane, actually, and your bumper-to-bumper backup starts at 167. Considering a new carrier cooling system before the summer heat wave? Get a price estimate on your phone in 60 seconds from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com now. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And to your forecast now, we have dried out, at least in the Seattle area. Still some showers, though, up north and over the mountains. And for tomorrow, chance for some more light rain as well. Highs tomorrow will be in the low 60s. Right now, 59 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It starts on your street, in your home, with a problem you're struggling to solve. That's where KIRO 7 Investigates comes in. They show up, they ask hard questions, they get you answers. When your story is seen, changes are just possible, it's already happening. Watch KIRO 7 News weeknights from 5 to 6:30 p.m. and at KIRO7.com/investigates.
Greg Tomlin and Angela Poe Russell in on the John Curley Show. This hour brought to you by Bucky's Auto Repair.
All right, so you just heard it in the news about the 19-year-old University of Washington student who was stabbed to death at that off-campus housing complex. Again, still don't have a suspect as of last check. What I do want to talk about is in response to the killing, Turning Point USA has postponed a planned appearance on campus by conservative activist Chloe Cole. The group says it received violent threats from groups like Antifa and accused critics of attempting to link the event to the murder. Student activists had also been calling for this to be canceled in light of this murder out of just concern for the rhetoric. And I guess I'm curious to know from you, Greg, because I know you're a proponent of free speech and an exchange of ideas. How do you feel about when the incidents, and it's not, I hate to call it an incident because this was violence. This was trauma. It was horrific.
Murder,
it's all of that. Yeah. And then having someone like her who comes on and talks about, I mean, we don't know what the motive was for this, but transgender people are targeted at a higher rate than others.
The murder rate within the trans community is definitely higher. I was looking at statistics today. I was trying to follow up on the respective incidents and are there data points on whether it's hate crime related or is it domestic situation or sometimes it's even sex worker related and so on and so forth. But it's hard to get real clear data. But yeah, you're right. The trans community, the murder rate is much higher. And it's a difficult situation. It's kind of a flashpoint here, but it involves a lot of issues that we should all care deeply about. And one is free speech. One is what are the responsibilities of a publicly funded institution in creating a marketplace of ideas where people can discuss, debate, and have conversation about provocative, controversial topics here. What immediately came to mind for me was a historical perspective. Was the Columbine shooting, was that 99 or 98 in Colorado?
98, or no, I think it was 99.
I think I was like a junior in high school, and I remember it like it was yesterday. But I also remember subsequently, right after that heinous crime was committed, the NRA had been scheduled to hold an event not too far away from Columbine, and there was immense pressure on the NRA not to have their event because they thought it would be insensitive given that, guns were used in that those horrific murders of those students at Columbine. The NRA pushed back and said, we've had this event on the schedule for long before this crime took place. And furthermore, it's our free speech right to do it. And so they held the event and faced immense scrutiny for it, immense pushback and immense anger here. And so you can see how I kind of relate these two stories here. So Chloe Cole, from what I understand, is someone who is detransitioned. Do I have that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, she was, she had hormones.
Yeah.
She actually had double... Is it mastectomy? Is that what they call it? Yeah. So all the things, right?
And Turning Point USA was going to feature Chloe at an event at UW. And there was some outcry that, hey, given these two murders in the area of people within the transgender community, it would be horrific for you to come here and talk about detransitioning.
Well, no, she would come there and basically speak out against that kind of stuff because basically she's a person that... Okay, I'm getting reversed, but the point is she is speaks out against wokeism.
Yes.
She speaks out against being transgender.
Yes,
so she's a person,
right.
The detransition.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead. I just wanted to...
Now, so there were calls for Chloe to not speak because of the sensitivity factor, but that's not why Chloe Cole decided to postpone this event.
Nope, and glad you pointed that out.
She decided... Chloe
No, you're
Cole,
right. Chloe, I think she is she.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Chloe decided to postpone this event with Turning Point USA because of safety fears, which is an entirely different issue in my mind. And this subject, it's full of nuance here. If I had been a part of Turning Point USA or Chloe Cole, I'm not so sure I would have postponed the event until these safety concerns arose. Because I think, if I can put myself in their shoes for a moment, if you would have canceled the event, you'd be sort of tacitly admitting that our viewpoint is somewhat responsible for this kind of violence in the community. And the second you do that, then you undermine the case that you are trying to make. Mm-hmm. And here's another thing I'll just posit into the conversation, which is if progressives are all about living your truth, who are progressives to undermine Chloe Cole's perspective of this is my lived truth? I became transgender. I've now transitioned back. What makes that viewpoint any less valid if that's true for Chloe to espouse that in a public arena where on a college campus, that's exactly what we should be doing, is debating controversial issues and trying to come to either some sort of consensus or get closer to the truth of a matter here. So I think there's a little inconsistency in ideological worldview in terms of progressive thinking. Am I wrong?
It's not about being wrong. I'd like to share another perspective. How about
Please.
that?
Yeah, I want to hear
You
it.
ever heard that quote, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should? And I think sometimes if we just put the politics aside and our viewpoints aside for a moment, there are moments when you just want to be a good human. And if you just had a killing on campus related to a topic that that impacts a community that you will be talking about when you attend, out of sensitivity to maybe a grieving campus, bow out. Now, I get your point. Would you bowing out be in some way acknowledging that what you say? And I think that's where they would have to manage that or communicate that in a way to say this in no way reflects like that our views are, inflammatory, but we want to be sensitive to the fact that we are here exchanging ideas that people disagree with and that the community is grieving, and let's come back another time. And so, but I get your point that if they were to back out, would it? Okay, well, let's ask this question.
You make a causation correlation argument.
Do you think people like her speaking, do you feel like it does provoke people to treat transgender people in a disrespectful way?
I think some of that is subjective, and it's one of the reasons the First Amendment can be applied pretty broadly to speech. There's only really a few instances where we say what you are conveying right now, what you are speaking is not protected by the First Amendment. And that in the Supreme Court has been very clear in, a couple landmark cases that I don't have right in front of me. But I think the main threshold is what you're saying bound to cause imminent harm to an individual. So you have the distinction of fighting words. So what's not protected is to say, let's go out and kill someone.
Right.
That's not a protected First Amendment speech.
Of course.
If you are saying, hey, I transitioned, I was part of the transgender community, and I've transitioned back, that's hard for me to say that that's not protected speech. And furthermore, I despise the heckler's veto. I truly despise the death threat veto that seems to be ubiquitous on a lot of college campuses today in particular. And I think people that make safety threats against speakers on campuses really need to be sought after and apprehended and face the full extent of the law.
Yeah.
Because if we are silencing opinions or provocative ideas simply because they run afoul of your particular ideology, I think the much bigger threat is threats of violence, not speech and unpopular opinions as violence.
Well said. Nate, what's happening in the world of traffic?
A lot. Lake Washington Windows and Doors has the update. We've got wet roads. We've got windy conditions. We've got trees down. It's one of those kind of days. Here in downtown Seattle, North 5, your backups start at the Michigan Curve all the way to the Ship Canal Bridge. 40 minutes to get through this. Northbound 99, a viable option, but it is heavy through that downtown tunnel up to South Lake Union. South 5, you're bumper to bumper at Ravenna Boulevard to I-90, 25 minutes from Linwood into downtown. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, we're up to a half hour on 520. You're bumper to bumper from mid-span over to I-5, 25 minutes on 990. Now, it's thick through the Mercer Tunnel, but once you hit the Lake Bridge, it starts to thin out for you. In Renton, we already cleared that collision north 405 near the Maple Valley Highway. Still thick, though, heading into the S-curves. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is going to take you 45 minutes. You're crowded from Renton through Kent, and then real heavy volumes from Algona into Puyallup. And we've got a wind advisory in effect at the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. Feel the freedom of lower energy bills. This Memorial Day, get $525 off every window, $1,000 off every door, plus 12 months zero-interest financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
The G and Ursula Show.
Prices in the Seattle area jumped nearly 5% in April.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
Well above the national inflation rate of 3.8%. So, in other words, we're paying more than much of the rest of America is right now.
It feels like a treadmill that continues to get faster and faster and faster. But somebody keeps speeding it up and increasing the incline.
G and Ursula. Watch live or later on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
Hey, it's John Curley. If you're having joint pain, this will interest you. Tonight at 6, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
What joints have you seen really good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, one of the most experienced in the country with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go pain-free in 2026. Join his free live stem cell webinar tonight at 6. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. Summer's right around the corner. Procrastinators, beware. Valentine Roofing schedule is filling up now, and you don't want to be stuck with the other guys. So call 206 Roofing today, and Valentine can still start your roof in as little as 3 weeks. Then you can enjoy barbecuing on your deck in the backyard without worrying about old shingles falling on your head. So call 206 Roofing today, and I guarantee there'll be no surprise, just a clear estimate that you can trust. Call 206 Roofing, and remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Digging in my yard, trying to lay a pipe. I hit a water line, and now I have to pay a big fine. I should have called 811.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Summer's supposed to be fun. When the kids are home all day, the groceries, they add up fast. G. Scott here with a quick heads up from Safeway. There's a program called Sunbucks that gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically and will get a card in the mail. Others need to apply. Take a minute to check. It could really help put food on the table for your family. Head to freesummermeals.org to find out more. That's freesummermeals.org.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof checked. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian, we help it last as long as possible. That's why every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Welcome back to the John Curley Show. I'm Angela Poe Russell along with Greg Tomlin. Of course, we got Joe keeping things under control in the producer chair. A chocolate maker is in trouble, you all. They shrunk the size of the chocolate bar, but kept the packaging the same. Shame. Yep, went from 100 grams to 90, but never told consumers and had the nerve to raise the price. What? Has this happened to you? Well, here's the good news. A court in Germany is holding the shrinkflation culprits accountable. A regional court concluded that they violated competition law by cutting the weight of its Milka Alpenmilch bar without making the change clear to consumers. Justice wins. Has this happened to you?
Angela, as much as I don't like shrinkflation or how companies get creative with how they pull a fast one on consumers, I actually say this story highlights for me how I'm still glad to be living in the land of the free, home of the brave, land of the free market. I mean, they weren't doing anything to lie. They were hiding the fact that the milk bars got smaller, but it's not like they did false advertising and said there's still 100 grams.
Well,
did
they did. 100 grams was on the packaging, but
Of
the
the 90?
bar was 90.
Okay.
So they kept.
Okay, that's one detail I missed.
Yep. But to your point,
Okay,
in general,
straight to the electric chair then.
But to your point, though, I think others do that where it isn't technically a lie, but the package just. Yeah. So
Has
tell me,
this happened to you? Because I feel like everyone has a shrinkflation story
gosh.
as of late.
All right, let's each give our stories.
Okay.
For me, it was a nice warm day in Florida, and
Set the
I
scene.
went to Whataburger because I only get there a couple times a year, and they're so good. If you know, you know. So I get the burger, and the bun is the same, this huge bun. And I'm like that old lady back in the day, like, where's the beef? I was like, this is not right. This is not the burger that I grew up with. I like, what? What? It doesn't even.
This isn't Whataburger. It's where's the burger?
That part. Joe, what's your story?
So last year, John and I were eating Snickers bars every single day. We don't do this anymore, but last year we were doing it every single day.
How do you and John stay so fit? That's neither here nor there.
It started to get away from me, so that's why we stopped.
Okay.
So we know the exact weight and size of a Snickers bar intimately. And then one day they brought in a new shipment, and I noticed it was just even the weight. I'm like, this is something's weird. And we opened them up. These things were noticeably smaller, but I don't think most people would notice because we were eating them every single day. It was clear as day to us. And it didn't cost any less.
We need to get our
It's an
attorney general
outrage.
on it. He's suing everybody.
It's a staple in our household. For years, we've gotten the 12 bagels at Costco for $5.99. That's 50 cents a bagel, and they're not bad bagels. Like,
Okay.
They're cooked, baked fresh daily, right? I'm in Costco the other day, and I see this massive pack of bagels, and it's 8 bagels in one package. And I think, whoa, can you get 2 of these now for $5.99? No. You get 1 pack for $4.99. So the price, quote unquote, decreased, but you only get 1 bag, but you get a few more bagels. So the shrinkflation that took place there, I realized, Costco, you can't pull this fast one on me. They went from 50 cents a bagel to 62 cents a bagel. But they changed the optics to try to fool the people shopping there.
Before.
It was, you would buy 2 for 1 basically before.
Okay.
And it was $5.99 for 2 bags of 6.
Got it.
Now it's $4.99 for 1 bag of 8. And I'm like, I got a calculator on my phone. I'm doing the math. You're charging me 10 cents more per bagel. It's an outrage.
You got to get up early to keep up with Greg. Okay, same for Nate. Nate, how's it going?
Yeah, I hope it's staying busy out there. Seattle to Everett, a 45-minute trip. You're slow from Shoreline at 145th there, all the way into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett, just under an hour. You're solid from Kirkland to the Alderwood interchange. Everett to Marysville, we're at 15 minutes with a steady backup from 526 to 529. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways, 45 minutes. We're really thick from State Route 18 into Puyallup. Westbound 18 to Military Road, we've got a stall right there in the center lane. And Tacoma to Olympia, plan on 50 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
The Washington Department of Transportation just spent millions of dollars fixing the interchange at I-90 and Highway 18, but the backups haven't gone away. You know what I think? I think they need new signs, but I'm not sure they do. I'll tell you about it Thursday morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO News Radio app.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. One thing the IRS has been working on is to modernize their infrastructure, the software that they use. And, you know, we look at that and say that's great for government efficiency, but in this case, that kind of efficiency means they're spotting people way faster.
They're able to do that, and they have to do that because they have fewer personnel. But look at your own work environment, how technology is replacing people, and you can get as much work done or more with the proper technology. And that's what the IRS's goal is that we need to use technology, especially AI, to make determinations on, okay, who should we go after? Who are we missing?
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967. Or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
I saw her texting coming up to a stop sign. And so I saw the accident coming and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Clutter happens. Let Closets by Design save the day. For a limited time, get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. It's the first day of a two-day summit for President Trump and China's leader Xi Jinping, and major topics include China's support for Iran and its desire to retake Taiwan. President Trump says he'll push more American business deals. CBS's Weijia Zhang is in Beijing.
Trump said he will ask Xi to open up China and brought a large entourage of American CEOs with him, including Elon Musk, Jensen Huang of NVIDIA, and Apple's Tim Cook, a group of companies worth more than $16 trillion. Their presence highlights Trump's focus for the trip, new business and trade deals.
The remains of a second American soldier who went missing in Morocco have been recovered. CBS's Stacey Lynn.
The U.S. military says the soldier was identified as Army Specialist Mariah Simone Collington. She was 19 years old. Last week, crews recovered the remains of First Lieutenant Kendrick Lamont Key Jr. The two soldiers were reported missing May 2nd after participating in an annual multinational military exercise in Morocco. They both fell off a cliff during an off-duty recreational hike. Their remains are now en route to the United States.
The Alec Murdoch murder convictions in the deaths of his wife and son are overturned by the South Carolina Supreme Court, and a new trial is ordered. But Loyola Law School professor Lori Levinson says the former attorney will remain behind bars.
Given that Murdoch has been convicted on federal financial crimes and he's received a 40-year sentence on those crimes, he's not getting out of jail right away. But the murder convictions probably either have to be retried or have to be resolved with some other type of plea deal.
The judges found that a court clerk influenced the trial by suggesting to jurors that Murdoch might lie while testifying in his own defense. Vice President J.D. Vance announces an anti-fraud task force to crack down on Medicare and Medicaid across the country.
We're going to the states and saying, here are the things that we can do to work on this issue together. And of course, if they don't work with us, there are going to be penalties. We don't want to get there. We want to work with these guys.
The task force efforts will include freezing some Medicare enrollments and warning states to investigate Medicaid fraud or risk losing funding. A scare for theater goers today when an escalator malfunctioned at the theater in New York City that is home to the musical Wicked. An escalator malfunctioned, and more from CBS News New York's Alan Devlin.
NYPD tells us at least one adult and 2 children were all injured. The adult with injuries to their hand, another child with an injury to their hand, and a third person with an injury to their leg. We've already seen about 3 or 4 people being wheeled out of the theater on either wheelchairs or in gurneys.
This is CBS News.
I want to know what's going on in the world.
I'm Tony.
There are big questions that all of us are asking. I want to get you the answers.
How are you?
I'm Tony DeCopel. Join me on the CBS Evening News.
Coming up, we have breaking new information in the murder of a UW student. Police believe they have a suspect. They need your help finding him. We'll have the latest after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
All right, Aaron, this report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. South 5 heading into Seattle, still heavy at Ravenna down to I-90. 25 minutes between Linwood and downtown. North 5 are bumper to bumper at the Michigan Curve all the way to the Ship Canal Bridge. 40 minutes just to get through downtown Seattle. Seattle to Everett, once you get past the Ship Canal Bridge, another 45 minutes. Slow from about 145th and Shoreline into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett, 55 minutes. It's still solid from Kirkland all the way up to that Alderwood interchange. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, we're at a half hour now on both bridge routes. 520 jams up near Midspan over to I-5. I-90, you're going to slow from North Mercer Way now into Seattle. Bellevue to Renton, a half hour. Seattle to Federal Way, also a half hour. And Tacoma to Olympia, 45 minutes. Considering a new carrier cooling system before the summer heat wave? Get a price estimate on your phone in 60 seconds from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com now. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, breaking news.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. Seattle police have just released the surveillance photos of a suspect in the murder of a 19-year-old University of Washington student. They need the public's help finding him. The killing happened on Sunday night at the Nordheim Court Apartments, where officers found that victim dead in a laundry room. Now, investigators say the suspect is a light-skinned black man, about 5'7", with thin build, glasses, short hair, and a goatee. You can see a picture of him on mynorthwest.com. It is a very clear photo. Police say if you see him, call 911 immediately. A motive for that killing remains under investigation. Seattle police say they tracked down a 15-year-old suspected car thief by using Bluetooth technology. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch with that story.
SPD officers were called to a home near 44th Avenue South and South Willow Street just after 7:30 Tuesday night. They found a stolen sedan crashed through a fence into a yard. The driver was gone, but SPD Detective Eric Munoz says he was quickly taken into custody.
The teen was adamant that he didn't commit any wrongdoing. However, when the officers conducted a search incident to arrest, they recovered his cell phone still paired to the vehicle.
The boy was booked for property damage and possession of a stolen vehicle. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Investigators say there is nothing suspicious about a rooftop fire at Tacoma's historic Temple Theater. Thick smoke could be seen all over the city yesterday when that fire broke out. Chelsea Shepard is with Tacoma Fire.
Just knowing that they have done renovations up there on the roof to add that deck and that extra event space, odds are high that it's probably going to turn out to be an electrical issue.
No one was hurt. Damage is largely contained to the rooftop. And some Seattle residents say they are being charged for garbage they did not put out.
Sometimes our extra garbage charges are $70 on the last bill from multiple extra bags of garbage.
It's Elizabeth Forsyth. She tells KIRO 7 TV she has video proof from her Ring camera showing no extra bags on the curb. She claims her neighbors are also seeing those bogus fees. Seattle Public Utilities does not believe there's fraud in the system, but officials say they do want people to call if something on their bill does not look right. To your forecast now, we are looking at partly cloudy skies tonight and some showers still in the mix in certain spots. And highs right now in the low 60s, right now 59 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Rick Tallman and Angela Poe Russell in on the John Curley Show. Is it just me, Joe, or has John over the years been singing more and more on the show? Has he always sang?
No, he's definitely he likes to sing his short reads, his short ad reads. So
no, sometimes I feel like I tune in and he just like plays an old record and starts like harmonizing to it for like 3 minutes, and I'm like, I love it, but
he does love to sing, but he does it at least 3 times a day now. So yes,
3 times a day. Well, Angela, I'm not going to interject here and say we need to perform a duet, but I did learn in our pre-show meeting that you were the front. In my band, we call it a front man. What is it when the woman is the lead singer and she leads the band? Front woman?
I guess I was. I was the lead singer. Yeah,
I had no idea.
The band. Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yep, we had a good time. I got to travel a bit in Florida, and we.
What kind of music?
It was kind of pop R&B.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
you said you sang a lot of Shania Twain?
No. For them, it was more, let's see, Mary J. Blige, Janet Jackson, all kinds of stuff. But the biggest one, my claim to fame, was when University of Florida won the national championship. Our band was the headliner right before the fireworks for the city party. It was so fun.
Was there like thousands and thousands of people there?
It was so bad that on one of the songs that they sang with me, and I could not hear myself. I was like, they are just singing it along in a way that's...
Well, I'm just saying, this show is a platform if you want to display the dulcet tones at some point over the next hour.
Well, your guitar playing is legit.
Have I gotten to the point where I've annoyed people in the newsroom yet with the guitar playing? John Curley has a guitar with a capo at his desk, and I cannot help myself when I see it. It's consummately out of tune. I'll tune it 3 times before the show, and it's still out of tune.
I know. He pretends like he can tune it by ear, but he can't. And
so
he'll
yeah,
sit
that's
there
a problem.
after the show every night. He likes to play a couple notes of something he's working on, and he's learning. But I'll sit there and go, it's out of tune, and he just ignored me. He twisted a little bit. He's getting better.
If it ever becomes too much when I'm doodling the 6th string, just tell me, because I have that picture in my head. Like, I grew up in an age in high school where if you were the guy that defaulted to go grab an acoustic guitar, you would get the eye roll from the masses. And it's like, the dude with the guitar needs to shut up. So I limit myself to 3 to 5 minutes during show prep a day.
For me, it's very peaceful because you were playing music that felt very meditative and just, for me, it was just a calming.
No butt rock, right?
And you're really good.
Okay, I'm not fishing for compliments. I'm just saying, if it becomes too much, just let me know. Okay, thank you, team. Right. I want to talk about another story that hits a little closer to home, and some people in the audience might be able to relate to more. So there's this recent ruling by a Washington Court of Appeals that says insurers in our state may no longer automatically refuse coverage for obesity meds like Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, simply because they're prescribed for weight loss. And I have personal experience with this. I started my GLP-1 journey about 3 months ago.
Okay.
Lo and behold, I was not covered through my insurance. But as I've said before, maybe even on these airwaves, I'm 43, over 300 pounds, and I grew up in a medical family and stuff. And I'm well aware that, if you make it to 40 and you're over 300, you're really kind of entering the danger zone. And, a lot of people kind of make it past their 30s if they kind of live unhealthy. Some don't. But when you're reaching 40, you're starting to roll the dice a lot more with your health. And that was becoming ever more evident for me. And I just couldn't nip this weight thing in the bud. I've roller coastered a little bit over the years, but I was at a low point 3 months ago, and I thought, you know what? Even if my insurance doesn't cover it, I got to pony up and pay the cash and see if I can find results with what I consider to be almost like a miracle drug, a marvel of medical technology, whatever you want to call it. And I've seen great success. I've lost about 10% of my body weight in the first 3 months.
Oh, wow.
But it's hurt the pocketbook. I will tell you.
How bad is it? You don't have to get exact.
No, I'll give you exact numbers. I think it's $299 a month that I'm paying right now.
But for your health, if it improves your health.
So again,
huge.
I'm a numbers guy. I used to be a professional blackjack player, so I'm always like dividing the numbers and getting the true count and all that stuff. So it's basically $300 per 10 pounds that I lose at a time.
Plus, you're probably eating a lot less.
Grocery bill has absolutely made an impact. I have less desire for like the nightcap of drinking a whiskey. It's just quieted the voices.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I can't even explain to you.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Okay, these are the two things really, really on my mind. What was the tipping point that you said, I have to do this? And then I'd love to hear the first changes you noticed in terms of the eating, what it did.
Yeah, great question. The tipping point, apart from the kind of bigger view of, I'm a middle-aged dad with 3 kids in my 40s who's, 310, 315 pounds. And it's not shocking when people in that condition have a heart attack in their 40s. I didn't want to be that guy. Plus, I had the kind of physical issue of my triple XL shirts were getting a little too tight.
And you were like,
and
heck
I
no,
thought,
no way. Yes.
Am I really going to buy a whole new wardrobe now where I go 4XL? So it was a confluence of factors. And I thought, no, and I've spoken to a lot of people. I've been a holdout on these drugs for a while because I never want to be the guinea pig to be the first adopters of something. Yep. And they've been around for a while, these drugs. And I thought, yeah, the trade-off's worth it. And again, it's going to hurt the pocketbook. And not everybody can afford these things, though. That's sort of the big takeaway from this story out of this Washington Court of Appeals that says insurance companies can no longer just automatically refuse coverage. But here's the implications for people more broadly is that one side sees the issue as disability discrimination and equitable health care access. But there's a counter argument that says, look, expensive lifestyle-related treatments should not necessarily be covered by insurance. And furthermore, if they are covered, your costs are going to just go up, 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 up because there's so many people that want to utilize these drugs now. So that's a trade-off. In terms of, I want to answer your question more fully in terms of my personal experience. I've stayed on the lowest dose possible, which I think only about 15% of people stay on when they start these drugs. And it's been enough for me to just have those demons quieted, the late night voices of you want to binge eat, you want to have that nightcap, or, it's 2 p.m. right between lunch and dinner and you really want to gorge for the next. Those voices have just been quieted, and it's allowed other more healthy voices to enter my head, like voices of productivity or going out and playing with the kids more because I don't feel like I'm as lazy or tired and things like that. And knock on wood, it's only been 3 months, but my personal stories, I've seen great success with it, and it's been worth the cost.
The weird thing to me, if I'm an insurance company, the health-related cost of somebody who's obese and what all comes with that later in life that they may end up incurring, which could be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars if somebody has a medical incident and ends up in the hospital for an extended period of time, that's going to cost them a lot. Ozempic costs $3 to manufacture, and it will only get cheaper. So these companies that are charging between $500 and $1,000 a dose for these drugs, so
don't cry for them.
Well, but there's a reason that system is set up that way, and that's because these, from what I understand and what I've heard from people in the medical profession, these companies spend millions in R&D and developing these drugs, and they go way, 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 way in the hole. And then so when they become, is it FDA approved or whatever, we basically say, hey, for a few years, you can recoup some of those costs and make a lot of money because like I describe it, it is kind of a miracle drug. And thank God we have companies that are willing to gamble and go deep in the hole to innovate like this. And then we say, hey, for a while, we're going to leave you to be able to, I wouldn't call it price gouging, but we can allow you to charge a lot for these for a few years. And I've looked this up. It's around 2031 or 2032 when these things become generic and prices will plummet. But for now, I understand that they need to make a profit, and that helps. That helps further innovate. By the way, for the cancer drug that's just on the horizon right now, we need to allow companies this sort of leeway to make a little money after they come out with them.
To me, it just makes a lot of sense when we know that so much of weight is genetic. I've seen it in my own life. Like I was the kid in high school. I could eat whatever I wanted and I gained nothing. And my best friend ate the same things and struggled with weight. So we know there's something about our genetics and what we are predispositioned to that makes it a health issue. And we know it impacts your joints, your bones, your heart. I mean, all these different things. So I'm like, why are we making this basically a social issue as opposed to a medical one? My big concern, and I think you started to address this, is it feels like that too good to be true. Like, is it too good to be true where I know it's been around for a while and people with diabetes have used it, but But is there something where 3 years from now they're going to be like, oh, oops, sorry? I mean, how are you feeling about that? And do you feel like the benefits outweigh the potential risks?
Exactly right. And I've had very similar thoughts to what you just articulated. And I don't think we know yet the 30, 40-year effects of doing this kind of thing. For me, it was sort of get this thing under control as number one priority. So I'm hoping I can lose as much as 100 pounds over the next year. And then theoretically, I would love to wean myself off of these drugs, although there's data that's been reported on in the media even recently that like 70 to 80% of people, the second they go off the drug, they start gaining the weight back immediately. So maybe it's a thing that we're saying you've got to be on the rest of your life. I almost wonder, and I don't know if there's a lot of research in this regard, if it's something that I can do irregularly, like go on it for a month, then I was good for that month, and then it doesn't seem like a healthy thing to do. Gain 5 pounds, lose 5 pounds, gain 5 pounds, but maybe it's healthier than perpetually being 315 pounds.
Well, and maybe when you lose a lot of weight, you like adopt just lifestyle changes that
are more appealing to you. And you're like, man, I don't want to go back to my joints and my legs hurt and constantly and so on and so forth. So we'll see. I mean, I'm in the process of kind of assessing being on these things. So far, I've seen great success. And would I like insurance to cover this for more people? Yes, but there is always a cause and effect, which means insurance costs will just go up.
Yeah. Well, any side effects so far, good and bad? Like obviously we know about the weight loss, but have you noticed any good side effects?
How detailed do you want me to get with the side effects?
Listen, this is radio. Let's go.
We're just talking between friends here, right? Yes. You and me, no one's listening. I've had very little side effects. The weird thing for me is I was at some auction, and they have the dessert dash at the auction. And so basically we got a big cake for our table, and I had cake. Cake just destroyed me for like the next 12 hours. Like uncomfortable, disaster, felt like my stomach was going to explode, like nightmare. And I think, and again, I'll get too detailed. The reason I think that is because like frosting is so full of fat, sugar, and one of the things these GLP-1s do, from what I understand, is they slow down the digestive process.
And so your body was like, this is too much.
And so my body's like, get this cake and all these rich foods you had at the auction.
So now you just
evacuate.
Give me a salad.
Just give me a nice salad. Maybe some toast on the side. Yeah, exactly. Easily digestible things.
Okay. Well, that's not a horrible side effect.
No, it wasn't.
That's kind of,
Okay, what about the side effects to onerous business environment here in the Seattle area? Surely you've read by now the former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz critique on the business climate here in the Seattle area and Washington State. What did you make of it, Angela? I haven't heard your take.
Oh, this is on Howard Schultz commentary.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think he's spot on. I love that in this article, he acknowledges that we have a regressive tax system, but he says instead of restructuring, we're just adding on and placing the burden in one spot. So what he's calling for is let's really address the issue that it is regressive and not just pile on taxes to one place. I also love that in the article, he acknowledged all of I remember moving here in 2009 and being so and as I lived here for a few years, being so proud of the fact that we had all these great companies, global companies that originated here. I said, this is the place of innovation. And that is what he is saying. He's like, this is a place of innovation. Like, we've contributed, we've done this. And so to do this, because he was saying this is the kind of environment where, you're not making it attractive when you I'm going to make sure I don't misquote him, but basically he was talking about the public safety issues. He was talking about, the different, onslaught
the villainization
of taxes.
Of some of these successful
and then
companies.
Talked about Mayor Wilson, basically saying they should leave. I mean, listen, let's leave the Starbucks incident alone about that part. But there was another meeting where she basically said, yeah, if they don't want to do this or whatever, bye. She's like, goodbye. And that's a different, whether you agree or disagree with it, that is a different tone than the last administration. And he is saying that that's going to be a problem for business development and the continuation of us being an innovative place.
Yeah, and I agree with his column as well. And just want to reiterate that the reason there were so many successful businesses that originated in this area was not by accident, right? It wasn't happenstance or just crazy coincidental things that allowed businesses to flourish. And furthermore, I want to pin down this ideological disagreement with someone like Mayor Katie Wilson and then the pro-business side of things. And that is, successful businesses, it's not a zero-sum game. And I think far too often either socialists or progressives believe that when a business gets successful, there is a natural counter side to that, which is a group of people suffer. And I'm much more in the boat of a rising tide lifts all boats, because these are some of the biggest employers in the state. So they're creating wealth for other people as well as creating wealth for the business itself. And I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding of business being this notion of a zero-sum game. And that's why Mayor Katie Wilson's first act as mayor-elect was to join a boycott of Starbucks on November 13th at a union rally and say, I'm not buying Starbucks and you should not either. What did she think was going to happen after that? They're going to start to leave the area. This is not rocket science here, people. And so now you're turning this region into an area where people don't want to originate successful companies and create wealth for the people of this region. They will take their business elsewhere and their ideas elsewhere. I mean, it's really not complicated to me, and so many people like Howard Schultz, you, and others that are watching this unfold, and it's a tragedy unless we course correct.
Well, it is complicated. Well, not complicated, but traffic is complicated, and we're so glad that we have Nate to help us out. What's going on?
All right, a lot's happening. Global Credit Union's got the update. Let's start here with Everett to Marysville. About 15-minute drive still, and it's still pretty solid from 526 up to 529. South 5, heavy at Northeast 50th in the U District, I-90. Northbound I-5, bumper to bumper there at the Michigan Curve all the way to the Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on 40 minutes to get through this. Both directions of State Route 99 are now heavy through the downtown tunnels. Bellevue to Renton, a half hour. It is solid from 520 all the way to the Renton Landing. You're really thick until you get past Coal Creek Parkway. Federal Way to Tacoma, 25 minutes. It starts to slow at 320th. Doesn't let up till you cross the Puyallup River Bridge. And southbound 167, stop and go between State Route 18 into Puyallup. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
The Washington Department of Transportation just spent millions of dollars fixing the interchange at I-90 and Highway 18, but the backups haven't gone away. You know what I think? I think they need new signs, but I'm not sure they do. I'll tell you about it Thursday morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. This is a test of your emergency alert system.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. According to naturalists from Puget Sound Express, the T49A family of Biggs orcas has been the story of the past week. The T49As are one of our largest orcapods, and they spent much of the past week near San Juan Island. A new calf recently joined the family, T49A7, the seventh offspring of 40-year-old mother T49A, Nan. Amazingly, all 7 of her calves are still alive. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds, Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. And don't forget, Puget Sound Express now offers a new all-day tour that includes a 2-hour stop on San Juan Island. Orcas, gray whales, humpbacks, minke whales, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Nick, you know what my dad always used to say?
Oh, which thing? Let me guess. If you put anything on a hot dog besides mustard, it's un-American?
Okay, that's true. Okay, but no, about the word worry. Remember he used to say about the word worry?
Yes, that it's not a verb, but it actually is.
I know it's a verb, but Nick, his point was nothing comes from worrying. You can sit here and worry about all the news and all about the chaos in the world. You worry about your health, but nothing comes of it. You have to take action.
Right.
Like, for instance, you and I, we go into Longevity Medical Clinic. That's an action. It's about taking that action. Like, people can go to Longevity Medical Clinic to get the free health analysis, and then they can find out how they're aging and the things they can do in order to slow down the process to have a big, full, rich life so you can enjoy a hot dog with whatever you want on it.
And now worry is a verb.
See, there you go. So it all starts for you taking action. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
KIRO News Radio, continuing coverage.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. Seattle police have just released photos of a man who they suspect killed a 19-year-old University of Washington student at an off-campus apartment building. We have posted those images on mynorthwest.com. And this all comes as students say previous concerns at that building were ignored. KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Audley reports from the Nordham Court Apartments.
Students living there like Quinlan Day tell us they've had concerns over security at the complex.
You can get into the laundry room from the garage because there's been a door that's been left open. The keypad doesn't exactly work for it all the time. It's been left open a lot.
Police haven't said how the suspect got in, but 3 people who live here tell us the lock hadn't been working. We're working to confirm those claims. A rep for the building told us in part, quote, some of the information being shared publicly is not accurate. This remains an active investigation, and we believe it is important to allow law enforcement the time to complete their work, end quote.
And police want you to call 911 if you recognize that suspect. They say he should be considered armed and dangerous. As President Trump holds trade talks in China, some high-profile CEOs are standing by his side. They include Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg, part of a delegation of U.S. executives who traveled with the president to Beijing. CBS's Aaron Navarro reports.
It speaks to the point that President Trump posted mid-air on this trip to Beijing, saying that one of the first requests he will make of Chinese President Xi Jinping is for China to open up for American business interests.
And Boeing has been seeking to revive sales in China after years of strained relations. Mercer Island woman is suing Alaska Airlines, claiming that airline flew a Seattle to Phoenix flight into severe turbulence back in 2024, despite repeated weather warnings. Court documents say the plane suddenly plunged about 200 feet, slamming passengers and flight attendants into the ceiling. Aviation attorney Mark Lindquist filed that suit.
Typically, you would expect pilots to divert the plane when they know severe turbulence and dangerous weather is ahead. Here, they flew right into the dangerous weather.
The lawsuit alleges negligence and seeks damages for physical injuries and emotional trauma. We have reached out to Alaska for comments. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 5:33. Here's Nate Combs.
This one brought to us by Home Comfort Alliance. We're dealing with wet roads and places, windy conditions across most of the region, and this has a wind advisory in effect right now at the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. Seattle to Everett down to 40 minutes, still slow from Shoreline into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett still 55 minutes, scattered backups from Kirkland into Canyon Park. We might have a new crash near Northeast 60th in Kirkland. I see traffic really jammed up at that section. North 5 are bumper to bumper still from the Michigan curve to the Ship Canal. Plan on 40 minutes to get through this. Both directions of 99 are heavy through the downtown tunnels. Bellevue to Renton a half hour. It's still solid from 520 all the way to the Renton Landing. Gets really thick until you get past Coal Creek Parkway, and then things start to thin out for you. Sounders have a match at Lumen Field coming up at 6:30, and Demi Lovato an 8 o'clock concert at Climate Pledge Arena. Considering a new Lennox cooling system before the summer heat wave? Get a price estimate on your phone in 60 seconds from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com now. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Mostly cloudy tonight, partly cloudy skies for tomorrow morning, and some isolated showers as well. Right now, 58 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Okay, welcome back to the John Curley Show. We're so glad that you're listening. I'm Angela Poe Russell. I'm Greg Tomlin.
This hour brought to you by Wilcox Family Farm Eggs.
Yum! Delicious. Are we supposed to come up with a recipe?
No, I think Andrew has some ideas. How
Andrew.
you been cooking those Wilcox Family Farm freshy eggs lately, Andrew?
Lately, I have been sauteing onions in a pan, and then
Hold on, talk slower.
What?
I'm just kidding.
So you're sauteing.
You saute onions in the pan, and then that gets the pan nice and hot, and it gets the onions nice and done. And then you throw your scrambled eggs in, cook them real fast, and then you turn the heat off as the eggs are still a little wet, and then
Make it last, yeah.
And then the heat on the pan finishes the eggs off. They're nice and moist, and it's perfect. That's my Wilcox Family Farm egg recipe.
Yeah.
Glorious.
Okay.
You actually listen to the show.
I know, right?
I'm
See?
shocked. Wow.
I know, me too.
Surprise myself sometimes.
Yep. Look, there is a fever spreading throughout the nation. It is called Blue Dot Fever, and it represents a sharp drop in people going to concerts. Why aren't we going? The blue dots represent the empty seats in these arenas, and it is leading to artists canceling shows. Over the last few weeks, acts like Post Malone, Zayn, Meghan Trainor, the Pussycat Dolls, Kid Cudi, they've canceled major tour dates. CBS this morning, or are they CBS Mornings now, did a report on this. Let's hear a clip.
What is Blue Dot Fever and why is it spreading?
Blue Dot Fever is when the promoters and the agents that work with artists and musicians look at the seat map for the venues and the concerts where they're scheduled to perform and see lots of empty seats.
One big reason, the average primary market concert ticket now costs more than $132, a 38% increase since 2019, almost double the overall inflation rate over the same period.
So why is this happening? We talked about this earlier, Greg. So many different factors all at the same time. We had a pandemic, and they're saying a lot of kids during that time didn't go to shows, or like a 2-3 year period for some people. And so it wasn't part of the culture like it was when I was growing up, that rite of passage going to a concert. gas prices. They said a bus used to be $1,000 a day to rent. Now it's $3,000 per day. So if you're on tour, that's another cost. No guarantee that you're going to make up the money. I mean, I could go on and on with the factors, but people aren't going. Oh, yeah. They also said they experienced a huge drop in ticket sales when the Iran war started because people just weren't sure they would have the money.
Yeah, my wife and I love going to concerts. If we could afford it, we'd go every month. Right now, we're scheduled to go to one concert this summer. It's Noah Khan at T-Mobile Park. I don't know if they're having a hard time selling those. I think he's doing 2 nights. Zach Bryan also sells very well. We're huge fans of his. Casey Musgraves, I think, is coming in the fall. We might check that out. But again, if you want semi-decent seats at some of these venues, $150 a person, then, oh, by the way, there's more fees on top of that. And you're looking $500, $800 straight in the face a lot of times. And maybe part of the dynamic here is consumers have reached just a little bit of an exhaustion point or a breaking point. Like, okay, I saw them once, but I can't see my favorite act 4 or 5 times in my lifetime anymore because I'm looking at $5,000, $6,000 by that point. Furthermore, and I don't know if this has been talked about a lot, but a few weeks ago, the Coachella Festival took place in Southern California in the desert.
Oh, yeah.
Right outside of Palm Springs. I think Laura, producer, went to it, and I talked about her experience, and she said it was great. I wanted to do it before I turned 30 because why? Well, it's hot. It's all day. You're on your feet. You're with the masses of thousands of people. It's not very comfortable, but it is a cool bucket list thing if you have the energy and vigor to do it. And so she thought it was really fun, but kind of exhausting. Here's how my wife and I experienced Coachella. Every minute of the multi-day festival was broadcast on YouTube for free, live streamed with 4K cameras, impeccable sound quality. And we tuned in. We watched David Byrne of Talking Heads, his whole show from start to finish. It felt special to us because we're seeing something live happen in real time, a performance of music, which was spectacular. And we're in the comfort of our own house. We got a little toilet that's 10 feet away from us. We're pouring our own drinks at 1/10 of the price. We're making food when we want to. We're pausing the performance when we had to leave.
Get
I know.
off the couch.
I'm not saying I liked ourselves in this process, but I couldn't help. And then we stayed up late for Justin Bieber, who came on at like 11 p.m. And a couple in their mid-40s. I was just imagining myself waiting all day to see that performance in the desert. No, we watched it, went right to bed afterwards, didn't have to fight traffic or get in line. So what I'm saying is a lot of these concerts, more and more of them are online. If you want to see Sabrina Carpenter, like you can go put it on your big screen TV.
And is it free?
They live streamed it completely free.
Here's the problem, though, Greg. It used to be like artists could make money from selling their albums and going on tour. And then with the internet, now you don't make money off of selling your music because Apple and Spotify, they have it up there, you stream it, you get nothing. These people they're writing music, producing music. Artists are getting paid nothing. So they make money by touring.
Yep,
well, now
you're
the touring is coming off the table. So where does this leave the future of music?
Oof.
Because what they're saying is the big artists are okay, like Beyonce, Taylor Swift. Like those people are good. But what is going to happen if they're saying, okay, merch and VIP experiences? This is ridiculous, guys. I know that we can't stop the beat, like cultures change, but what is worth preserving and what are we willing to do?
Yes, and I'm hoping, and I don't know if the article bears this out, I'm hoping there will be a booming smaller market of live music performance more on the local level. So seeing more local acts at microbreweries, small theaters, wineries, and so on and so forth, where you don't have to pay in the hundreds of dollars, but you still want that human creativity element and human artist element to where, yeah, we're not doing it through our screens, but we're not also paying through the nose to go see this. And so you named a number of the artists that are really getting hit by the blue dot factor or blue dot fever. Post Malone is massive, Meghan Trainor is massive.
I know.
And so if it's hurting their bottom line, they're going to be okay. I will really be dismayed if it's hurting kind of the middle class working musician. I want to see them thrive. It's almost like big box store versus brick and mortar mom and pop store comparison. And I think there is a metaphor to be had there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Are you going to any shows this summer? Any plans? I mean, you got your own show going on. I already did my show.
Let me tell you the show that was a hit.
Okay.
And they say this is actually part of a trend where artists are doing fewer cities.
Okay.
And they make you fly to see them because the transportation costs have gotten so expensive.
More like a residency model, like Vegas?
Well, they do have those. But for example, when Beyonce did her Cowboy Carter tour, she did less than 10 cities. And they said that was an intentional move to basically say the cost of moving is so expensive. So we'll do these key cities and you fly to us. So that's what we did. We flew to LA. And for the latest one I did, which was New Edition, I flew to Detroit. And they say that's the new trend of we're not doing many cities. So if you want to see us, you got to fly to one of these places.
Were they doing multiple nights?
Some cases they do. The one in Beyonce did in LA, she did 4 nights in Los Angeles. A ton of people flew to see her there, and people do it. But the New Edition concert was freaking amazing.
New Edition, what was their heyday? The 90s?
80s.
80s.
The
Okay,
80s.
What was their hit?
Oh my God, they had so many hits. I mean, there was Candy Girl, there was Telephone Man.
You want to sing a few bars?
Let's see. Mr. Telephone Man. There's something wrong with my line, and Nate wants to do the traffic.
Wow.
Get him on the line.
Wow, that is something. Yes, I do. Seattle to Everett, a 40-minute trip. Bellevue to Everett, still just under an hour and 55 minutes. So you've got scattered backups from Bellevue into Canyon Park, and then you'll clear out pretty quickly. North 5 in Seattle, bumper to bumper at the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. 40 minutes just to get through downtown Seattle. South 5 still heavy from about northeast 50th, approaching the Ship Canal Bridge down to I-90. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, plan on a half hour on both of our bridge routes. So 520, you're bumper to bumper, mid-span over to I-5. I-90, stop and go from the East Channel Bridge to I-5. Bellevue to Renton's a half hour. Got a heavy backup from 520 to the Renton Landing. North 405 slows from South Center through the Renton S-curves. And then up north, let's start with Bellingham. South 5, about a mile past the old Fairhaven Parkway. Collision blocks your left lane, so you're backed up all the way to Lakeway Drive, a 4-mile backup. And then in Skagit County, North 5 at the Bow Hill Rest Area, a collision blocks your left lane. You're in about a 2-mile parking lot here. Feel the freedom of lower energy bills this Memorial Day. Get $525 off every window, $1,000 every door, plus 12 months zero interest financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Some parts of the house just don't seem to work anymore. Like the closet that you open it up and you don't even bother looking in there because it's so jam-packed with stuff. Things fall out all the time. Or you can't quite put the car in a 2-car garage because one side of the garage is just full of stuff. Same thing can happen in the laundry room. There's just stuff all over the floor. There's no place to store towels or anything. You know what's happened? It's a closet design problem when you think about it. And maybe even gone as far as having to rent some sort of storage unit to put stuff. Maybe because you just need those rooms, those spaces to be better laid out. And that's where the experts at Closets by Design come to the house. And they customize, truly customize. They see the problems that you have, and they fix them for you. You don't pay the big price, though. 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. I can tell you when they came to the barn in Cle Elum and did the great work, I am a believer in Closets by Design. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
I had pain. I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466, 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Held over due to popular demand. This is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates. This weekend only, Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Around here, we see a lot of people head out. No matter where they're going, we just help make sure they're ready. Before you hit the road, get a pre-trip safety check from Les Schwab Tires. It's free. Plus, this May, save up to $200 on select sets of 4 tires, including all-terrain, highway, all-season, and all-weather. So go ahead. Explore with confidence. Les Schwab Tires. We're here to help you take the long way. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
Home Comfort Alliance, a Carrier factory authorized dealer delivering efficiency, reliability, and quiet performance every time. John Curley here. Upgrade to Carrier cooling and get a heating system free. Use their 60-second price estimator at homecomfortalliance.com.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
Is this New Edition?
It's New Edition. 611.
Now, was Bobby Brown the lead singer or just one of many lead singers?
He was not the lead, but he was definitely a star in the group.
Oh, Bobby.
Bobby, they loved him at the concert too.
Bobby's still with us?
Oh yeah,
Is
he was on
Bobby
the tour.
still with
He was on
us?
the tour. Some folks saying barely. He couldn't move the same.
Okay.
But it's okay if you can't move the same. He was still moving the best way his body can move.
Love it.
All right, do you want to go off topic?
Yes, because we have an expected visitor making their way into the studio as
Make
we
it short,
speak.
Andrew. There you go.
Okay, yeah, it's the mailman. Okay, so let's read some texts. Thank you for all of those that chimed in. And we'll start with Ann in Renton, off topic. I love your radio voices so much. It's heaven to hear velvety voices on the air. Great job, you too.
Thank
Velvety.
you. Thank you. This is creepy.
Whoa.
I didn't know I have a velvety, but I'll take it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Ann.
All right, I need an interpreter for Fernando's text because Wednesday means Odin's Day or Woden's Dag.
Yeah, I was complaining about the spelling of Wednesday earlier because if you read it out phonetically, it looks like Wed Nest Day, and it's always bothered me my whole life. Maybe
the word Wednesday translates to Odin Day. Odin's Day. It derives from an Old English, can't pronounce that, paying homage to the chief Anglo-Saxon Norse god Odin.
Do I strike you as a personality type that would walk around telling people, actually, it's Odin's Day, and I'm going to prefer calling it Odin's Day from here on out?
I can never see you doing that.
And people would be like, that seems like it's on brand for someone like you.
Yeah, that's you, for sure.
Tina in the 425 says, hey, Angela, I'm so excited to see your show. I've never been to a musical. This will be such a memorable experience in many ways.
Aww.
Tina, you are absolutely correct. Aviatrix premiering at the Seattle Public Theater May 15th through June 7th. Just a few tickets left available.
But wait. I thought tonight.
Tonight is the preview.
Oh, gotcha.
So the preview is where it's like a soft opening in a way, but then the opening night is Friday. So
it's like friends and family only.
Well, no, anyone can get a ticket to a preview.
Okay.
Yeah,
are you
like
equal parts nerves, excitement,
all of it,
and
everything all at once? Kate and Auburn, tickets to Angela's musical, The Aviatrix, are very reasonable. Can't wait.
On the topic of Iran and inflation, the 360 says, our family drives big trucks. The pump cuts me off at $175, and it's not even full. Ouch. I feel your pain, 360.
Fernando, Seattle says, I remember 99 cent gas in the South. Yep.
Patrick in the 253, he can't outwardly say that he's worried about the economy. It plays into the negotiation with Iran and gives them an upper hand that he's concerned. Patrick is talking about Trump there in his comments from today.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
What is the letter of the day? I got to...
Last page.
Oh, okay. Did you want me to do it or you want to do it? You want to do it?
I'll introduce the name. It's Lomax in Sammamish on whether or not to trust AI. Angela?
Yeah. Last summer, ChatGPT assured me that Joe Biden was president, affirmed it when challenged, but when asked who Donald Trump is, conceded that he is the president. Just last month, multiple times, Chat referred to Donald Trump as former president. These discrepancies aside, I chat with AI pretty much daily.
Yeah, there's no red flags or warnings anywhere.
That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
Didn't write no more.
You'll be hearing from me.
Oh, no.
That's Baccaria. It's Greg Tomlin, Angela Poe, Russell in on the John Curley Show. Thanks for joining us. Let's send it on over to the real-time traffic desk and Nate Connors.
All right, thanks, pal. Bellevue to Everett, 50 minutes. Scattered backup still from, we'll call it Kirkland into Canyon Park. North 5 into Seattle really hasn't budged in the past hour. Bumper to bumper at the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Still 40 minutes to get through this. South 5, you're heavy from Ravenna to I-90. Bellevue to Renton will take you a half hour. You're slow from 520 to the Renton Landing. It is bumper to bumper from Southeast 8th to Cold Creek Parkway, and then from there, it thins out the scattered backups down to the Renton Landing. North 405 still off and on slowing from South Center through the Renton S curves. And good news up in Skagit and Whatcom counties. We cleared both of our collisions. The first, South 5 near Old Fairhaven Parkway in Bellingham. That is cleared. Just a brief backup approaching Fairhaven Parkway. And in North 5 near the Bow Hill Rest area, that collision cleared as well. You've got about a half a mile backup starting at Bow Hill Road. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
The Washington Department of Transportation just spent millions of dollars fixing the interchange at I-90 and Highway 18, but the backups haven't gone away. You know what I think? I think they need new signs, but I'm not sure they do. I'll tell you about it Thursday morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO News Radio app.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. Rising energy prices, fragile supply chains, even threats of food shortages. It's no surprise that millions of American families are starting to take preparedness seriously. That's why My Patriot Supply created Family Preparedness Starter Packs. 1 full week of food for everyone in your family. Plus water filtration, cooking tools, and backup power. All for as little as $100 per person. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com to get prepared today. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
This is Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland. Having trouble with a government agency? Tired of dealing with red tape? I'll help you get the benefits you've earned. My office is here to help you with Social Security, Medicare, the VA, passports, and more. We've recovered millions of dollars for taxpayers and stand ready to help you. Call me at 360-459-8514 or visit strickland.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
This May, stock up on beautiful annual plants from Sky Nursery, especially if Mom likes flowers. A hanging basket for a shady spot, a patch of Kiss Me Over the Garden Gate, or straw flowers to keep in a year-round dried bouquet. Sky Nursery, the gardener's garden store. SkyNursery.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Spike O'Neill here for Ageless Living. Recently, my aunt had surgery, and she was home the next day. But we weren't sure if we were ready or equipped to give the kind of care that she needed, so we called Ageless Living and asked about respite care, a short-term stay that provides 24/7 expert care, Ageless Living amenities, and peace of mind for you and your family. Go to agelessliving.com/spike and schedule a visit. It can be a much-needed break for a caregiver and a chance for you and your family to get a look and a taste of what Ageless Living offers. That's agelessliving.com/spike.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and hump